Hello, we're back, sort of, kind of. We hope so.
Yep, don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Screen goes black, and Arrow does a quick reboot.
Go figure, man. It's a strange thing. We have some wing dang doodles, technically speaking, in on our show. Hopefully it'll
I
be.
must have picked up the
limited.
creamsicle virus.
I don't know. It feels like herpes.
Ew.
Anyway.
I never felt herpes.
To get, yeah. Anyway, yes, Taro, you're still on. Actually, we announced it earlier, right?
Yes.
We said, we even gave you an applause and Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do. And
Lauren is trying to shut you down. Maybe so. We'll see.
Man.
By the way, it was mentioned by some gentleman that I met yesterday at the commissioners meeting. When you get in, we'll talk about that. So there's stuff I want to talk to you about. And expect to be treated like a candidate.
Yes.
You're not going to get a carte blanche here. Although we're going to be happy to have you back.
Yeah.
And we don't have food either. No food, no donuts.
Well,
we'll talk about that too. That was funny as hell.
Boy, that was talking about a cold letter.
No, it's a story with Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Speaking of
now tell me.
Speaking of a cold-hearted letter of reality, well, remember that letter that I wrote, that I read? It was called an open letter to Shreveport, warning the people of Louisiana
about Dollarman.
Yes, you're going to be broke.
Dollarman.
Yeah,
the guy that stole the money and ran. He took the money and ran.
Oh yes, he did. Just like that Steve Miller Band song. You're gonna take the money and run. He sprinted.
Actually, we got that with the Monopoly Man.
Yeah.
I got a picture that Ed put together.
Yes.
That I'll make a post.
Where the letter was saying, was warning the people of Shreveport, Louisiana, please, good people of Shreveport, keep in mind the huge favor you will be doing the taxpayers of Macon Bibb by hiring this guy, as we will not have to pay his COBRA payments anymore. Oh, that's right. You have not heard that Dollarman has caused so much havoc in our system that he was bought out of his contract for a mere bag of shells. A measly $350,000 plus. We have to pay his COBRA payments for his health insurance until he finds another school district bamboozled out of his countless millions. Well, we just had some news late last night.
What?
Some breaking news. Says Louisiana district passes over Dollarman for the superintendent's job.
There you go. Well, you know what? It was going to catch up to him. He's got a, it's like credit.
Oh, yes.
You got bad credit, people won't lend you money.
Yes.
So he's got bad credentials right now.
Romaine Dollarman was passed over yesterday as Louisiana School District picked finalists for their superintendent's job. He was one of 7 semifinalists for the Cato Parish School District's top job.
No, they didn't hire him, Anthony.
Yes.
I'm sorry. This is what happened.
Yes.
They didn't hire him.
Yes. But he missed the cut when the school board picked 3 finalists. Bibb County Schools hired Dollarman as a superintendent in 2010, but bought out of his contract this winter after less than 2 years on the job. Some Bibb County critics took their campaign against him to the internet this month, contacting the Cato District and the Shreveport, Louisiana newspaper with critical comments and emails. 2 of the 3 Cato finalists are longtime educators in the district. The Shreveport Times reported that many people in the district urged the school board to promote a local candidate. So there you have it. Dollarman was rejected.
Yep, out.
Yes.
Get out of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
It's a troubled place, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Kind of swampy.
Someone put a hoodoo on them, yeah.
I always thought of it as swampy.
Yes.
I'd like to go, but there's no place to go there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get chewed up by an alligator.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mardi Gras is okay, but since that Mardi Gras came and went, I mean, there's really nothing else to do. Louisiana said go to the LSU games or the New Orleans Saints games. Yeah. But there you go.
Well, no, Michelle Belli, I appreciate the honor of being thought as Jewish, which is exactly why, as I grew up, they couldn't figure out what the hell I was, and then with my name Irving, they always thought I was Jewish, and in some weird way, they treated me better. You know.
Yeah,
but as soon as they found out I was Puerto Rican, forget about it.
Forget about it, yeah.
Worse than the Jews are treated.
Yes, Diaz Photo guy has he probably has a good point. He hit the nail on the head there. Talking about who are the idiots who hired him here? They're just as much to blame. Yeah.
Well, did they get to the part where people were writing to them, telling them all
Yeah.
about them, and what do you do?
Yeah, I did that. That's what I actually talked about. That's why the letter was sent to Shreveport about, hey, if you like to give out $500,000 for nothing, yeah, please hire this guy. You know.
Yeah. Well,
And
Well, he's got some more juicy stuff.
oh yeah.
He's got some juicy news.
Yeah.
I got some juicy dog news.
Juicy.
Yeah, I
Like
went.
milk bone dog biscuit.
I went up to
Like
Bibb County.
creamsicle juicy.
Yeah.
Creamsicle.
It's like it's like a dog humping on your leg. I just came out of nowhere, started humping on their leg. How's that? That's how
Okay.
comfortable they felt.
Wow.
They wanted to kick me off. When I went before the commissioners yesterday, and I basically told them, very politely, because they gave me all these rules, which I have right here, and look at the rules. And she gave them to me and said, Miss Martinez. I'm like, okay. And I came back and she gave me this. Rules for addressing the board, and it's all yellowed out, of course. They wanted to make sure I read that. And then all cell phones and other communication devices shall be turned off or in silent mode, provided, however, that a cell phone or device may be used to make a video
Right.
or audio recording of the meeting. That's one. 2, citizens may request to speak by completing and submitting a request to address the board form at least 5 minutes prior. Would you believe I walked down there and I got there when? 5 minutes before the time.
Wow.
Literally. As I'm getting on the elevator, I'm looking. It's about 6 minutes to just before 5. When I got upstairs, by the time I got upstairs, 5 minutes. Boom.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
So
It's
who's going to
right.
moderate today?
Yeah. Anyway,
You can keep track of time and all that stuff? You're going to do it today? Keep track of time for each question?
yeah, we're gonna set aside.
Who's the moderator?
Uh,
Spider-Man?
no, we're just gonna interview him, like we always do. Everybody's a moderator.
If we have like more than one.
We have any outbursts, then.
If we have more than one, I guess, candidate, we could probably do a moderation.
Right. But one
This
candidate
is
would just
not a
address him. I mean,
Not between her and him.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, by the way, I'll skip around this, but this is the one that they made, I guess, and they, and they yellowed out, speakers must limit their time to 3 minutes, of course. They want to make sure that you only have that. I took about 6. And they left, maybe 7. It was a long time. But here's the one. No derogatory or inappropriate remarks or personal attacks concerning Bibb County personnel or anyone on the commission board shall be permitted, and the chairman has his discretion and suspend irrelevant speaking. Okay? And then anyone wishing to speak must first be recognized by the chairman. So in other words, he has to call you up. And he has to recognize you if you fill out that form. If not, you just sit there like a lump. And you're going to have to wait till the end of the meeting for you to then go up to them personally and talk to them. That's what I did when I missed the deadline. But anyway, so I was in, I told them what happened, and I said, I don't think that she's, capable of handling a multi-million-dollar facility. I'm sorry, she couldn't even tell me the sex of the dog. She even got that wrong. And then she got wrong the fact that that was the last dog that was available, and yet then I get into her office, she says, oh, you can't have that dog because the dog has an owner? What the hell? Get it together. You're screwing up.
Yeah.
So then I wind up with the little dog, other than the one I was going to get, and it dies of parvo in 2.5 days. I mean, who the hell wouldn't be pissed off?
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
According to your computer, just want to say there, even though it is kind of sunny for right now, we have a flood warning, flash flood warning for Trutland County and Wheeler County. So anyone within Trutland and Wheeler counties, definitely be careful going out. Especially when it's raining.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be some type of flood warning watch flash flood watch for you in those counties. So be careful out there.
Thank you. No, and what right now I'm trying to get the story up, but basically when I got there at 6 o'clock, right? Joe Allen had told me earlier, they did a story on me, and that Lonzie Edwards blasted me, and saying that I had no right to ask, and even threatened me with jail. I said, really? And so the story wasn't written until after I left. So it was weird. That reporter was in there. I didn't even know. I didn't even know that reporter was in there. But obviously somebody gave him the heads up, because I get home, literally, and the story is there. Like with my name, and that I addressed the commissioners and what Sam Hart sent to me back, which was that they have every, it's like, with the Obamas, I have, all, respect and...
politeness?
No, like that person, I have all my trust in them.
Yes, trust, yeah.
In other words.
Credibility.
Yeah. There's no reason, and even gave them recommendation cards to the staff to kind of slap in the face, and not only to me, but to Joe Allen, obviously. And then they blasted Joe Allen. But meanwhile, Joe Allen was the only guy that helped out, to try to get it.
I was about to say, what news do you have right here that you have?
Well, that's the one. I'm trying to find it. I had it yesterday. It's on the news. So I just have to look. They're running the news really quick.
Yes. I guess
I'll find it.
Okay.
It's in the Macon Telegraph. I send it to everybody.
Let's see. I was trying to find some other. See, that's
why
that technical difficulty. See, it kind of wipes away your list on news.
Okay, here we go. This is only about the protests.
Okay. Anyway,
I'll look on my Facebook and then I'll get it from there. Go ahead, keep going.
So far, 72
what
degrees.
Other news
it's 72 degrees outside of Macon, in Macon, with a high of 92 and a low of 72. It's sunny for right now, but it may be a very, very, even though it's sunny, it's very slight chance of thunderstorms and showers today. Somehow it's supposed to be raining for the rest of this week. Go figure. I do have
I do have the story now.
Okay.
Okay. Edward blasts Allen over comments at Bibb Animal Shelter Director staff. And then it says, after receiving a report on Tuesday morning about the Bibb County Animal Shelter's successes over the past year, Commissioner Lonzie Edwards blasted Commissioner Joe Allen over remarks Allen made last week about the shelter and its staff. Though he never specifically referred to Allen by name, Edwards said he felt anger and outrage over critical remarks Allen made about how Animal Welfare Director Sarah Tenen is running the shelter. Allen was critical of Tenen and the shelter after the puppy residents recently adopted shelter puppy died of parvo earlier this month. Edwards accused Allen of grandstanding for political gain and overstepping his authority as commissioner with directing and interfering with county workers. I don't know what I've been, if I've ever been angrier than when I saw a commissioner said about Sarah Tenen, Edwards said, someone owes Sarah Tenen and her staff an apology. We have one commissioner who has tried to ride his way into office on the backs of dogs and cats. This is coming from Lonzie Edwards to Joe Allen. And this is just absolutely ludicrous. So then it brings me up in the story. And it says, no commissioner has authority to give directions to any employee. If John Q. Public did what the consumer did, I'd hope the director would call the sheriff. Look at that. That is like almost a threat. I know the sheriff, Sheriff Davis. As a matter of fact, I sent him a lot of information on some of the corruption that I got from other people, and I'll have them stand before a court if I have to prove the point. that what's going on at that shelter is almost disgraceful. I mean, it's beyond that. We're talking about an SUV. We're talking about dogs being euthanized for no good reason. We're talking about dogs getting fixed prior to adoption, and then they come and they kill them off anyway. So now the doctor gets paid, right? And then you don't even have a dog to show up. And there's other issues that were brought up, like dogs disappearing and no record of them.
Yeah, speaking of dogs disappearing.
So there's a lot of stuff going on here besides that. And I sent that information to Sheriff Davis. And I told him, tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
And let me know what you think.
All right.
What else do we have?
Well, speaking of some dogs ending up missing.
Yeah.
This is from Kenny Bergamy at WMAZ News. 2 pit bull dogs were shot and killed over the weekend in South Macon. Police spokeswoman Jamie Gaudet told 13 WMAZ that officers responded to a call from a resident of West Richmond Street on Saturday evening around 7 p.m. A woman called 911 and reported that she saw 2 pit bulls attacked and killed a small puppy that was being walked by 2 men.
Yeah.
3 officers arrived and searched for the dogs responsible for attacking the puppy. The police officers witnessed the pit bulls attack another dog on the porch on Triple Hill Drive. Gaudet said officers fired 2 shots into the ground near the animals after exhausting all possibilities. The dogs were undeterred. Sergeant Shelley Rutherford gave the 2 officers the order to shoot the dogs. Gaudet confirmed the reports that the dog's owner have been given a citation.
Yeah. And the dogs are dead.
Yes.
But you know, what else are you going to do? Those animals could be treacherous if they start biting you.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they kill...
fear of death is, so that, you see, I can understand that. I mean, as sad as that is. But then again, we saw that film where the dog was really trying to get away, and the cops shot him.
Yeah.
So we have both sides of the story already told here. Maybe this one was all right, but I like to see it on film. To be assured that, in fact,
yeah, I mean, we saw the
those
one
dogs
where this
did,
dog...
in fact, attack him.
Yeah.
Or did they just see the dogs and shoot them?
Well, they saw
that other dog.
I mean, they already killed one. The 2 pit bulls. They said they already killed 1 puppy, and they were attacking another dog. I think probably an older dog or adult dog, mature dog.
Yeah.
And the police shot toward the ground, I guess, to scare the dogs away. But since that didn't deter them, since that didn't scare the 2 pit bulls, stop them from attacking the other dog, they went on ahead and shot the dogs because, I mean, if they're not afraid of killing a dog, I mean, imagine if they would have started attacking people.
Yeah,
in
well,
the neighborhood.
I mean, it looked that way. And again, I wonder if the fact that those dogs were probably, trying to be set up in the last moment as those fighter dogs that these people have in their culture, that they like to see dogs like maul each other and bet money on. That's still around. And I wonder if they're prepping them so that they have them for a while, make them mad, and then give them to somebody for a little bit of dough. I wonder if that occurred. And then the dogs are in some bettor's hand and he has them killed.
Well,
and their hands are clean.
You heard the one about the puppy flipping, right?
Puppy flipping?
Did I send it to you?
No, you didn't.
Where people go on Craigslist and get the puppies, and they found out one guy or whatever, they did a story, and whoever got one of these puppies, free to a good home, they were videotaped beating the shit out of the dog. They were taking the dogs to mangle them and kill them.
Boy, that is just straight cold-blooded right there.
Well, that is cold-blooded. I mean, that's why this guy, Vince, the football player.
Michael Vick?
Yeah, Michael Vicks. Yeah, Vicks. That's
Michael
right,
Vick.
Vicks. Yeah.
No, that's not the...
I know, but that's why he stunk up the room, right? When he was doing that dog fighting.
Well, actually, it was at his house. His cousins, actually, to be correct, his cousins had dog fights at his house, and I guess to get shorter jail sentences, they basically added him in the mix. Of like, yeah, we had.
So he didn't own a dog.
he didn't own he had it at his house and stuff. So basically thinking, well, he has the money, he'll bail us out. No, I had to go to jail too. See, I mean, when family does that, I just have to cut you off. You know, I'm just cutting you off, man. Don't even ask me for ice cream money, okay?
Yeah.
No creamsicles for you.
Well, here's the thing, though. He made the excuse that, oh, it's in my culture. It's almost like an awakening. Like, I didn't know. This is in my culture. Wasn't what his defense was?
Well, some people, I don't know whether he does it himself. His cousins may do it, but, you know, if you have $100 million, I mean, there's just some things you don't do. I mean, you could say, well, you know, superstars have sniffing cocaine is in their culture because you have enough money to buy it. But what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything? Anyway,
you were talking about the dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting the video.
Oh, great.
Okay.
We got a video coming out, folks. Lumpy gravy. What the hell is that? Is there a lumpy cheeseburger.
Lumpy Rutherford.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Lumpy gravy on lumpy cheeseburger.
Yeah,
is
we
that
know
what
he
you're
has
thinking?
blood, but he did the crime, he did the time, unlike GZ. But that's a whole other story.
What the hell?
Anyway.
What else do we have?
Yeah.
Got any more news?
At least he did the crime and did the time, but that's a whole other.
Well, he did the crime, did the time, and now he's talking to other. You know, he's doing.
I mean, come on, he's doing. He's
He's trying to make his amends.
Yeah, he's making.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's kind of insane, living up and accepting the fact that two dogs can absolutely madly maul at each other, and one possibly get killed, and that you sit there betting money and you think that's okay.
Well, there's some places in
places
in the South they have cockfighting, but you know, people don't have
cockfighting is the same thing. I mean, I don't think that they should put
people not putting
killing and pecking
people not
each
putting
other
a whole bunch of people in jail for cockfighting. Because why do we have cockfights? There's a Church's Chicken down the street. Yeah. Why you get mad about that? They did too. You know.
Well, that's what they'd say.
There's a KFC down the street over there.
It's what they say and why I say and what are the facts. Don't you think that's insane?
You ready?
Like watching animals kill each other? That's nuts.
Watch this.
Roll that beautiful bean footage, yeah.
I've heard of flipping a house for a quick profit, but flipping a pet that's not even yours?
NBC2's Jim Spiewak talked to people who say it is really happening here in Southwest Florida.
It happened in the blink of an eye. Elizabeth Cayu's 12-week-old miniature Yorkie, Toto, went missing 2 weeks ago. Elizabeth spoke to us by phone on Monday.
Believe that some people just think that they have the right to do whatever they want with the animals.
Pet flipping is when a thief steals or finds a family pet, then sells it online for quick cash.
This isn't like a television set or, you know, a piece of electronic equipment or something. This is probably a member of somebody's family that you just took.
Elizabeth can't confirm yet Toto is the victim of a pet flipper, but she says it wouldn't surprise her. And that's the frustrating part for pet owners. Proving a pet is flipped is tricky business.
We're having such a problem getting people to bring lost pets in here that we had to put it in our ordinance.
In Lee County, you're required to turn over a lost pet within 24 hours of finding it.
And experts here at Animal Services recommend anytime you buy a new pet to have your vet scan it for a microchip, which is an easy way to detect if the dog is with its rightful owner.
Which experts say is one of the few defenses against flipping.
And if it already has a microchip, you need to find out who owns that dog.
Law enforcement officials recommend regularly checking websites for ads of your lost pet. A flip greater than $300 is considered theft. Jim Spiewak, NBC2.
There you have it.
Microchips for dogs, soon microchips for us.
There is a company that does like a microchip.
Well, no, New York passed that law last year. If you
Yeah.
want to go to Canada, you got to have a special license, got like a chip built into it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much shit going on you don't even know about.
Oh, please, man. I made a movie, actually, Michael K. Harris made a movie called The Chip Factor. We thought it was just fictional. I mean, we already have it for dogs and GPS, but, you know, basically my character, Dr. Dexter St. James, who's, you know, a scientist and a womanizer too, as if you've seen from some of the clips that Ed has shown.
You gotta get off sometime, no?
Well, yeah. Well, basically,
Like
I
that.
mean, well, the plot of the
All
movie.
that brain shit going.
Yeah,
on.
from the plot.
Then the other brain starts to work.
Yes. As I was, as I was saying, the movie is basically how like a bunch of five subjects who have been paid to be part of an experiment in a local warehouse facility where they are injected with microchips and see how they work.
Wow.
Now, there's one of them that has a smart chip.
What's the name of this movie?
Chip Factor.
Chip Factor.
Chip Factor.
Yeah, that's one where he was getting on with them babes.
Yeah.
You know, he was in bed with them girls.
Maybe it was the title that it wasn't a big deal, was it?
Yeah. Well,
They should have said like a chip on your shoulder or chip off the old block.
maybe.
Chip
maybe.
Factor.
Well, you know, it's a chip factor because you're talking about certain different types of chips where basically they were injected a certain type of chip. One person, like one woman whose child was missing, her child was, I guess, just for the fun of it, well,
Just for the fun of it.
the unbeknownst to her, of course, was injected by a smart chip. And he was doing well. He was doing 10 times better than the average student at his school. I mean, he was like getting on MIT. Of course, there was really bad side effects, like excessive nosebleeds and what have you. And
Wow.
and his mom, who was
Walk
being
around with a lot of tissue.
and his
Look
mom,
like a coke addict.
yeah, and his
That's
mom.
what people think when they have a bloody nose. I go, oh, he's been snorting.
Mm-hmm.
That
But-
ever happened to you?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think- I don't
How
have
do you
it.
know?
I don't have it.
You ever have a bloody nose?
No, not really.
Uh-oh.
I had
Good
some
for you.
serious boogers stuck, but that's all.
Oh, dear Lord.
But her son had the smart chip in.
We're really
injected in.
dipping into the story, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He had the smart chip inside him, and he was like doing 10 times better than the average student at his school, his high school, junior high school. And his mom, who was a part of the experiment, she decided to get the strong chip, or whatever, the power chip, which basically like it's supposed to be like a substitute for steroids.
Yeah.
Without the roid rage and all that type of stuff, it just makes you like 30 times strong.
You know what Uncle Salty says about that?
tables and sofas.
He says, today, Derek and Irv, I will be saying only bland things.
Mm-hmm.
Goo goo gaga. Like that.
Yeah.
Like us right now. I think we're just talking about bland things.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to give us a hint. Right, Uncle Salty?
Okay.
All right.
But
All right, let me
really
see.
an uncle?
I don't know.
Do not expect, okay, Vorp Bike's on. Hey, Vorp. All right, here we go. We got Vorp and Rocco on the other extreme.
Jeez.
We
But,
got it in
yeah.
stereo, folks.
Yeah. But as like I said,
Les Nessman says, let me holler at you about this Zimmerman case.
Well, yeah, and of course Rocco says, Vorp, I hope they put a chip up your ass and electrify it. I love it. I love it.
wow. But like,
By the way, we were talking about pit bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Vorp, Rocco's my pit bull. And he even sounds like a pit bull name. Rocco.
Yeah.
Actually, he looks like a pit bull. I saw him on the Donnie Curry show. Nah, he's a brother. Actually, he looks like, well, I don't know, Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
You all look alike, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
1 minute you look like somebody, the next minute you look like.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, speaking of chips and stuff like that, my character, I was, giving them the party chip was kind of like ecstasy /
Hey,
Viagra.
Donnie Curry.
Yeah. It's kind of like ecstasy / Viagra, then power chip and the smart. It's kind of weird. That movie came out. We finished. I think we finished filming in 2006. That's like 7 years ago, and it came out on DVD around 2007.
How come we don't get these things on here, Derek? Get a piece of what you did and play it on the show.
Well, we've had at least twice.
Well, let's do some more.
Yeah, I hope so.
Every
it's
one
weird.
that you have on the list. And Anthony, the same thing.
It's kind of weird when you think about it. Like all those. I mean,
don't have to worry about copyright fees.
6 and 7 years ago, we were just toying with the idea about the chip factor. Someone being implanted with microchips, and now going on now with just pets. Now you have the Google glasses. We have microchips in your glasses now. Be able to watch the internet without even having a cell phone or a tablet or even a laptop. You just beep beep. Just go on your glasses, and you see this tiny little screen right next to inside your glasses, technology has just advanced a lot in this decade alone. The first decade of this century alone, just
But
leaps and bounds.
those glasses that you have like the computer in, you got to do all this Tourette shit. Like it's like a Tourette syndrome.
Well, yeah,
That may develop.
Possibly.
Look at that guy that on the Zimmerman trial. That guy that was like forensic. That basically gave testimony that helped George Zimmerman. Remember that Dr. DeMayo? Dr. DeMayo.
DeMayo.
Yeah. He was some, professional guy that they brought in. And he had this twitch in his eye and his freaking mouth. He kept doing this.
Wow. That's...
Like Tourette's. So then I started thinking, is this guy's testimony even good?
I guess that's a good question to think about.
Yeah.
Good question to think about. Let's see.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what was. We had another. Oh yeah, there was another story, at least a local story in Warner Robins. There's an amputee camp builds confidence for Warner Robins girls. Just want to do this before we close this first hour. It says for most kids, going to summer camp is a chance to try new things, meet new friends, right? So for 12-year-old Jordan Kozlowski from Warner Robins, it's all that and more. She says there's a special camp in Ohio that gives her confidence to compete year-round. Jordan Kozlowski shoots for the skies in everything she takes on, be it basketball or academic aspirations. Her belief in herself hasn't always been so strong. She said that my dad ran over me with a lawnmower by accident. He didn't mean to. Jordan was 2 years old when the accident happened. But it says her father... Yeah, I know, right? That's definitely a dun dun dun. Her father, Mike Kozlowski, said the lawnmower cut off, and I heard my wife screaming, and I prayed it was the dog, but it was Jordan. And she nearly bled to death, and says she squeezed my finger, squeezed as hard as I can, and says, "Daddy, I'll be fine. I'll be fine." And basically, Jordan's words turned out to be the truth, that she's actually gotten better. Her health has become better, and I guess her legs had to be amputated. Now she leaves for an amputee camp in Ohio this week. It says there's some people like her. It says there's some kids lost like 2 legs, 1 arm, or 1 leg and 2 arms. And she said, Jordan once struggled to talk about a prosthetic limb. It says it's not the case. Her father saved each of her prosthetic legs as she has grown up, because she's a growing kid and child.
Wow. Oh, they short then, right? No?
Yeah.
Don't you outgrow that? Mm-hmm. If you're a child?
Yeah, but she's not...
I'm sorry, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, because she has to get like a new prosthetic every time,
Yeah, she gets older, no?
Mm-hmm. And Jordan, she has dreams of playing basketball for the Crimson Tide at the University of Alabama.
That's cool.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So that's where the camp she'll attend this week is paid for by the nonprofit Amputee Coalition, the organization that sent nearly 800 children with lost limbs to go to this.
Is that due to mine?
Since
why did they lose their limbs?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because of cancer or for freak accidents or something like that. But just something, because they don't have all their limbs, they want at least to have some type of good experiences. Despite not having all their limbs.
That's some good news.
So that's
good stuff happening, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, there's all sorts of news. Let's see. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the Macon Church is going to hold a prayer virgil today for Trayvon Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Well, actually, it was Tuesday night.
Yes, last night.
Last night, yeah. Greater Friendship Baptist Church in Macon hosted a prayer virgil for Trayvon Martin. Pastor Stephen Summerall says the trial divided many communities throughout the nation, including Central Georgia, which is true.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
He had different pastors from around Macon focused on 4 main points: unity, understanding, love, and peace. Summerall says he wanted to lead people to prayer instead of violence and protest. So many people had differing opinions when the verdict came down. People were upset because wounds were open from the civil rights times and other times when there was injustice. And remember, we're in the South, so it was very prevalent here,
Yeah.
And so those wounds are still kind of fresh in some of the people in our community, some of the older folks. Even you,
Right,
my
yeah.
mother had to go to the back of the bus in New York. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that. I was always in the back.
And you
of
know
my
what?
mother.
I've also heard some news that the Zimmerman family are in fear for George's life, because now, since he's been acquitted, he has to basically have to go for the rest of his life in fear because of some stranger accosting him and bothering him and just killing him for no reason, just from his looks alone, his appearance alone. Now that is what I call irony.
Well, you saw the letter that was written.
Yeah.
He said, now you're going to have to wear a hoodie in order to be walking around.
Well, maybe he'll go back to Mexico.
So, unfortunately for him, I still think, what I said, the law was a law, it was written by man, it's fallible, and in this case, I believe it is. I think the stand your ground law ought to apply in a house when a guy breaks in and you're confronted by him. Yeah, I could understand that. But when you're on the street, and you're the one that's going up to this kid, you're the one that instigated all of this. I don't care how it rolled out after that.
And then
how
dare this teenager tries to defend himself? I took all the time in my schedule to stalk him. Yeah.
So that's always been my point in all of this. All right, so he had the right, if he felt his life was in danger, whatever. I still feel like I will always say that he got his ass kicked and he was mad and he shot the kid. It was more out of pride than out of fear. And so that's what I believe, and I may be wrong. God help me if I'm saying the wrong thing, but it looks and smells and acts that way to me. And so if it looks like a duck, and you know the rest.
Yes.
It quacks very loud.
Definitely.
It quacks and pecks.
Affleck.
Like it's hungry for something. You know what it's hungry for? True justice.
Yes.
Equal justice.
Yes.
Under the law. There's no equal justice here. It's going one way over some stupid law that this California state, every other state really doesn't have that stand your ground. Now that's a plan where everybody wants to do it.
Well,
Everyone's
actually,
so freaking paranoid over
it's 9:03.
somebody
I guess.
taking a gun. It's crazy.
It's 9:03. All right. I guess it is time for.
No, we're going to take a break.
Yes. Actually, I do have some story. Yes. As we go for our next tour, as we go on our break, hope you'll hold on to us and.
Preface the video of your cousins. I won't play it now. Cousin's video.
Oh yes. I have. I'll go and preface this video as we're going on break. My cousin Carl Dickinson says that our little younger cousin, Miss Blunt, Tyler
Right.
Blunt.
She's one of your little cousins.
Yes.
Okay.
She is
She's a cousin's sibling or daughter. Yeah, daughter.
Yes, she is a country singer. And yes, we know there are some black people that are country singers like Charlie Pride, Cleve Francis, Cowboy Troy, even Darius Rucker, formerly of Hootie and the Blowfish. But now we have a black female country singer. She has a song called Your Terms. Hopefully you enjoy it, and we'll be right back into our second hour. Plus, I have some stories of Stevie Wonder. We'll be right back. See, music and music. We'll be right back. Don't you dare touch that remote or mouse. We'll be right back on the Morning Roast.
We'll be right back.
I think we're going to be back,
We'll be
right?
back.
We'll be back.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless we get hit by a meteor, we'll be back. Never know.
You say it's my fault, it's not working out. Well, please forgive me for not backing down to you. You say it's my fault that we're losing ground. I say it's your fault, I won't be around no more. sure why I let this carry on. 'Cause I've got more pride than that, and I know it's wrong. But your words are so smooth, they taste like honey on my lips. Your touch makes me blind, and I can't see that mess I'm in. Oh, we can't love unless it's on your terms. And no, we can't fight unless it's on your terms. There's too much hurt that's been done, and too many wars nobody's won. And we both know it's not right. So let's just end this tonight. And we can't love unless it's on your terms. No, we can't even fight unless it's on your terms. So say goodbye, 'cause I think it's high time we part ways. And I won't lie, I know I'll see better days without you. I'm moving on to something new, and there's nothing you can do. These are my terms. These are my terms. Yeah, these are my terms. These are my terms.
And we are back. It's
That was
9:09.
great.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
relaxing.
Cowboy Irv here, along with DB and Ed.
That makes me feel very country.
Yes.
I said, I'm gonna go from a cap to a hat. Looks better.
Oh.
Yeah, wake up.
Yes, definitely. It's 9:10.
Yeah.
It's 9:10 a.m. Eastern
Yeah,
Daylight
this is
Savings
our
Time.
second leg of our three-legged show.
Yes, our 3-hour show.
The Freaks.
Yes, live from the doghouse. This is the morning roast with Irv, Ed, and DB. I'm DB, of course, Derek Barrett. It's 72 degrees outside Macon, Georgia, 72 and sunny for right now, with a high of 92 and a low of 72. There may be a very, very slight chance of rain and thunderstorms, so don't let the sun shine for you, but enjoy it while it's out there.
I can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, not because of the weather, but I finally get my dog.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow after 6.
Okay, that's good.
And then on Friday, for Flippin' Friday, we're going to introduce you to Axel,
Okay.
the pit bull.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
It's
there you
t-shirt
go,
right there.
Of course, you got to put that up while Anthony is here. But I am absolutely ecstatic about Axel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened with this dog was that she put it up saying this dog only has till 5 o'clock to live. If not, they're going to euthanize it.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it. It looked so beautiful. It reminded me of another dog we had. It was a German short-hair pointer that you guys were bringing up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And named Bucky.
Yeah.
And he was our pet dog. He was a German short-hair pointer. So it kind of has that face, but it's a pit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's going to grow. And it doesn't have that weird human headish look, that wide with the beady eyes. It doesn't have that look.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a hound almost.
Yeah.
It must have some lab in it. Well, you'll see.
yeah, obviously, yes.
Yeah, and it's a black dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little white in it, kind of
Okay.
like you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for. I just adopted a farting pony, Nick Hausen. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You ride it all the time? Lumpy Cheese says, real man, will you hide me from MS-61 on your thigh cheese? Okay.
Okay. Axel. It's like named after Axel Foley, Eddie Murphy's character in Beverly Hills Cop. Just asking.
Wait. Rocco, black kids are dying on the streets and not by white people.
Well, yeah.
There's a comment.
Well, a good number of it by
Let's
gangs.
go, cock nose. Get your cock in his nose. That what you do?
Yeah, I mean,
He sticks
true.
his cock
well, poor
in
people.
guys'
Well,
noses.
I hate to say this, but poor people do tend to fight other poor people. Like, just no different than white people kill white on white crime. You know, but you don't have like news. You don't have like camera people in the news. Going to like trailer parks and seeing like white people killing other white people. You know, in meth labs and stuff, exploding meth labs. But
Well, yeah, I mean, they're
still-
only counting, obviously they're counting and they're looking at black on black crime.
Yes.
By the way, Real Man Porn said, Real Man Porns, I like that. Without the Stand Your Ground law, there would be 24 more African Americans in prison.
Just 24.
By the way, Too Much says, Rocco likes the word cracker. He says it often enough, but guess what I think? It's a funny name and it doesn't bother me a bit. In fact, cracker, 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 LOL.
Yes.
Pee.
Actually, doesn't
I
necessarily
think he's
mean.
peeing on you.
Yeah, it doesn't mean necessarily a saltine. Basically, the word is basically what a person does when cracking the whip on slaves. That's where that word comes from. And not necessarily, and what's ironic about it, the word not necessarily means that the quote-unquote cracker at that time didn't necessarily had to be a white person. There were some slaves who were older slaves who were house overseers, like Samuel Jackson's character in Django. He would have been the one, dealing.
The argument is that
Yes.
people say, oh, that happened a long time ago, get over it. Well, you know what? It's still prevalent, obviously. I mean, there's still remnants of... Newt Gingrich got on CNN last night, and everybody was applauding. You know why? He finally made some sense. I swear to you, I was like, damn, he got it.
What?
He knows what's going on. He agrees, and he really said it best yesterday, I think.
Do you remember the
Yeah,
quote?
the comment was that the laws of America are always have racial implications the way they were thought out to begin with. The way they were thought out based on some people thinking of these laws, putting them out there, making them happen, because they themselves sold the idea. And it was on a racial kind of foundation.
Wow.
He said, and that's very well paraphrased, by the way.
Yes.
But not that good. You ought to look at CNN if you guys are able to get cable. Or you can look right on your computers and look up the video for CNN.
They wouldn't be
And it's
watching
there.
right now.
Also, want to give a quick shout out to my cousin Tyler Blunt. I hope you have a very, very long career in country music. That was in the break we played her new single, Your Terms.
Yes, wonderful.
My cousin Carlton Dickerson, not Carlton Banks, but Carlton Dickerson.
Yeah.
He lives in Australia. He told me about told me about our cousin that's pursuing a career in country music, which I would have to say, which one of the very few things I do like country music. I mean, unlike this modern 21st century
bullshit,
stuff like, which is both rap and rock and roll singers. You know, the fickleness is not as much in country music as it is come up to other genres. If you are a country singer, you will have lifetime fans. You can be 50, 60,
It's like
70
being a
years old.
plumber. It's just something it's a talent you can walk around with, and it's portable.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, look at her voice.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Yes. Definitely.
And her voice is perfect.
Yes, very good.
To me, anyway.
Yes,
As a country singer, I mean, it's easy to like her, right?
Oh, yeah.
I heard that song the first time. You know when somebody's good? When you hear the song the first time and you feel like it's a hit already. You know?
Well, thank you.
That's a hit already.
Thank you. I hope it blows up. I hope it becomes a really good hit. Yes. Hope people will be rocking that song all over.
She hit it out of the
music.
park.
Oh yes, definitely. She went.
I'm trying to set you up for sports. You
Oh.
gonna do sports?
Okay, well, yeah. Well, speaking of which, that was an incredible sports last night. In case you didn't watch NCIS last night on CBS, there was an incredible program on Fox called the All-Star Game, where you have all the people from the American League. The best of the American League played against the best of National League played against. Did you watch it? Because you
No, I didn't. I was coming. I walked downtown and I came back. I was right on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even pay attention.
But it was a very good. It was a very good
yapping
game.
away about the Zimmerman trial, and it was just driving me crazy.
It was a very
too much.
I didn't watch that much because I was still, lethargic, still sleepy from the trip I had last night. From filming the movie Goodwood over in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I was there basically Monday night.
So you were able to sit down after that?
Yeah. I was basically to sit down and get some Z's, catch some Z's. But I did see the ending of it. It was a very beautiful, wonderful play. I mean, the one guy just jumped up in the air like Air Jordan, just caught that pop fly that kept the American League in the league.
Yeah.
Long story short, the American League beat the National League 3-0. So
now who's on the American League? Yankees or Mets? Because the Mets are on the
Mets
National
are in the National League.
Right.
Yeah, Yankees are in the American League. Yes. And Mariano Rivera was set up, and he basically was the final. This was his final All-Star game, which was very fitting because he playing for the Yankees. That was his last All-Star game. He's retiring at the end of this season. This is his last one, and he's a great relief pitcher. He killed a lot of folks. Matter of fact, he was the MVP for the game.
Yeah.
Not only that, and also, I guess, going back...
Who was the MVP again? So these people can listen since
Mariano Rivera.
Their typing is louder than what we're saying.
Yeah, Mariano Rivera. He was the MVP for the American League. American League beat the National League in the All-Star game last night on Fox. They won 3-0. He was the relief pitcher, and he won the game. He was the MVP. Yes, he was the MVP player of the game. Not only that, and of course he is. This is because he's retiring his last at the end of this season with the Yankees. He has won 5 World Series championships with the Yankees, along with Derek Jeter. Not to mention, aside from that, he is also the last person in Major League Baseball that will ever wear number 42, which was immortalized by the great legendary player Jackie Robinson. Yes, indeed, Jackie Robinson.
That's a home run.
Yes, which by the way,
that sounded good, Ed.
Which, by the way, speaking of which, on that same day, which is quite ironic, the movie 42, also, which was the day of the All-Star game yesterday, also came out in stores on DVD and Blu-ray. So if you didn't get to see it in the theaters, you can be able to see it on your own home or video.
Or if you're in Macon, of course, they have the big screen, and that's going to be at Tatnall Square Park. And you can go there. Actually, it's going to be at the ballpark.
I got no money.
Okay.
Well, anyway,
I
I'll
got
put it
you.
up and let you know. Anybody in Macon can go down there and watch it on the big screen that is being put on by Mercer University.
Yes. Okay, that's great. That's even better. That is
That
even
would be
better.
fun.
Yes.
Anyway, I know that a lot of our viewers, I know that they have something called ADHD, which is attention deficit disorder.
Okay.
And I just want to talk to you guys for a moment. Make sure you're taking your medicine.
Yes.
Because it's obvious based on all this chatter that's going on that you guys can't keep focus on much.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Try to multitask. Talk to us and you talk to yourself. After all, this is an interactive show.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't jump in and say anything because you guys are talking about some other shit. But anyway, go ahead, Derek. What else is in the news?
Yes.
Maybe they'll be interested.
Yeah, I had some other news. There was a guy from Perry. He is a Perry firefighter from Perry who has Olympic hopes. He's a firefighter, and he wants to basically a Perry firefighter. This is from Kristen Drummond, the lovely Kristen Drummond from WGXA TV, Fox 24, ABC 16. Jared Wims, age 26, is a firefighter from Perry, Georgia. He's doing more than extinguishing burning buildings.
Yeah.
He's training to be a 2016 Olympic track runner.
Yeah.
He has a full plate being a professional athlete and a firefighter. However, Wims is working hard to make his dreams a reality. And he says that, going to the 2016 Olympic Games, which will be held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, will let me know that I got as far as I can go. So that's why I'm doing it. I mean, that's why I'm motivated myself. So when Wims comes home to Middle Georgia, he's a firefighter for the city of Perry, a job that he's been doing for the last 4 years. It's not easy for him, though, because he's an Auburn graduate. He works a 24-hour shift at the department where he works out until a call comes in. When Wims is off duty, he's either at the Stratford Academy track working out, coaching young track stars in the area, or jet setting to compete in a meet. He says he has very little time to sleep, and he's, it gets a little taxing.
Yeah, and his buddies at the firehouse give him, they take the time.
Yes.
They get overtime, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to give it to us.
Yeah, so between now and the 2016 Olympic Games, which he wants to qualify for the 200 meters, 400 meters, and 4x400 meters in the 2016 Olympic Games. He's training right now when he's not doing his firefighting work. Right now, he's actually training to compete in a track and field meet next month in Northern Ireland. So, top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you, Mr. Wims, and I hope you do well in Northern Ireland.
I wanted to talk about this cracker deal that happened with Gentel, and I want to remind people that that cracker deal, they actually use that in the Caribbean as normal language. They don't really see it as racist, although it throws you to, they're talking about white people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what happened with Trayvon and Gentile was just how they talk as young people who heard other people talking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they thought it was racial.
Although
they kind of knew it was racial, but it's kind of
racial.
The N word when they use it without the letter R, it's acceptable.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I don't know if you use it with the letter A instead of ER. It's more. I don't know, because I remember I told you about the story about the guy. There was this white female who said that her brother-in-law, a black guy, was married to her sister, and she had this racist grandmother, and she was on her deathbed, and she basically said, to this guy, you're the sweetest ninja I ever met. And,
and
obviously
she was catapulted to hell.
Yeah. I bet you wanted to pull the switch, I tell you that.
Oh, no.
But, I bet you that was a very long pregnant pause after that, I think, needless to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like,
you're right. But please don't put it up. I don't want us to get banned.
Yes.
Remember, no racism outright.
Yeah, I mean, granted, yes. I'll admit, you are right, to an extent. But let's be really honest. Let's be historically honest here. That there have been thousands and thousands and thousands of white guys that have been lynched, by black men in America, and they were never called that word. I don't know any black guys that were in the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, with the exception of Dave Chappelle's skit in the Chappelle Show. I mean, let's be historically honest here. I mean, there's never been. White guys never had to look over their shoulder in the deep, deep South, for being afraid they're going to be lynched by a black guy. But, black guys had to worry over their shoulder. I mean, come on, we could talk about, there are a lot more Trayvon Martins and Emmett Tills than there have been, Adam Walshes or something, or Adam Jenkins, whoever, name it, pick.
Billy the Kid.
Yeah, Bill. Well, he's a big robber. You talk about you had the Scottsboro Boys, the Emmett Till stories. It's not even fun. The Atlanta child murders, forget about it. It's just really bad.
Well, that was a black guy. I remember that.
Well, supposedly he may have been one of these. Yeah. We still don't know yet.
Well, we don't know.
We still don't know.
Anyway, it's part of our everyday life, sadly to say. And it's going to be a long time, folks. Not my generation. Maybe somebody else. Mm-hmm. That people start to see the light.
Yes,
I did have to behave.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, at least I just want to say, Mr. Williams, congratulations on it. Just to get back to sports, because I did have one more sports news, sports-related news. A 52-year-old original Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup Championship banner was sold at an auction for $37,500. Yeah. Says the Southtown Star reports that the 12-foot-long banner fetched more than expected during Tuesday night's 5-minute-long auction at Leslie Hyman's Auctioneers of Chicago. The banner from 1961 once hung from the rafters at the old Chicago Stadium before the owner of a suburban Chicago sports bar bought it at an auction in 1994 for $15,000, and it's been hanging at the bar ever since. The Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup in 1961, beating the Detroit Red Wings 5-1. The team was led by Bobby Hall and Stan Mikita. Today, a replica of the banner hangs at the United Center. And there you have it. That's all the sports that we have right now.
Wow, that's great. Well, we got a sport going on here. Actually, I'm starting to enjoy all the comments towards each other. Mm-hmm. And there's all this crazy shit going on between Rocco and Fat Vinny and Michelle, Wizard of Oz, all these people.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Donnie, what's up? You been watching? Up and away we go. I am back now, and how is things going? Well, take a look. It's kind of what they call a chatterbox show today, I guess.
Yeah.
Hump day, right?
Yeah, hump day, yes. Camel day.
Got a bunch of humps out there. Just talking to themselves. But, hey man, what else is in the news, Derek? Just keep bringing it up. I'll look for something.
Well, I do have something, I guess, pertaining to the past verdict, come out, or at least the effects of the Zimmerman trial verdict. Stevie Wonder announced he will not perform in the states, in Florida, as well as other states with a stand your ground law until it has been abolished.
Wow.
While performing in Quebec City in July 14th, 2013, which was last week, Stevie Wonder responded to the George Zimmerman not guilty verdict after the shooting death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Mr. Wonder announced, unless the stand your ground law is abolished in Florida, I will never perform there again. The iconic singer added further that he will no longer perform in any other states that adhere to said laws. He says, I've been blessed. I have the opportunity to see Stevie Wonder in a couple of times. Once on his birthday in New Orleans. I guess this is from a blogger named Anomaly.
Well, there you go.
He says, basically you're missing out.
He's not going to come and see you folks in Florida. He's not going to walk in there and come and see you. He's blinded you out of his memory.
Yes.
He's put the blinders up.
Definitely. Literally.
Yeah.
And figuratively.
Wow.
And speaking of which...
Don't I deserve it to the...
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Anyway, I'm sure that they'll boycott you, Stevie Wonder. They'll say, how dare you?
Yes. How dare you?
Yeah.
And
Who the hell are you?
Also, there was another story about juror B37. Basically, the people who are getting ready to give her a book deal has dropped the book deal away because after her interview with her, because of a Twitter,
Who was this?
Juror B37.
Yes.
She was
she was the one on CNN.
Yeah, she was on CNN.
I got a video on her.
Oh,
yeah,
you
all
do?
blacked out. Oh, great.
Oh, roll that beautiful footage, eh?
Yeah, if you could do that, do it,
Yeah,
baby.
she talked
And then we'll
about
talk
the,
about it. You'll tell the story, yeah.
Juror B37.
Yeah, here we go.
Do you
B37.
feel that George Zimmerman racially profiled Trayvon Martin? Do you think race played a role in his decision, his view of Trayvon Martin as suspicious?
I don't think he did. I think just circumstances caused George to think that he might be a robber or trying to do something bad in the neighborhood because of all that had gone on previously. There were unbelievable number of robberies in the neighborhood.
So you don't believe race played a role in this case?
I don't think it did. I think if there was another person, Spanish, white, Asian, if they came in the same situation that where Trayvon was, I think George would have reacted the exact same way.
Why do you think George Zimmerman found Trayvon Martin suspicious then?
Because he was cutting through the back. It was raining. He said he was looking in houses as he was walking down the road, kind of just not having a purpose to where he was going. He was stopping and starting. But, that's George's rendition of it. But I think the situation where Trayvon got into, him being late at night, dark at night, raining, and anybody would think anybody walking down the road, stopping and turning and looking, if that's exactly what happened, is suspicious. And George had said that he didn't recognize who he was.
Well, was that a common belief on the jury that race did not play a role in this?
I think all of us thought race did not play a role.
So nobody felt race played a role?
I don't think so.
None of the jurors?
I can't speak for them. I'm not
that
their
wasn't
voice.
part of the discussion in the jury room?
No, we never had that discussion.
It didn't come up the question of, did George Zimmerman profile Trayvon Martin because he was African American?
No, I think he just profiled him because he was the neighborhood watch, and he profiled anybody that came in acting strange.
Well, we're back.
Yes, we're back.
And there's so much I want to say to that, but, once again, it's like getting a headache. I'm just getting a headache. First of all, the fact that she says, that he was suspicious because he was looking around and all that shit. Yeah, because you were following him, and he saw you, and he got nervous, and he probably got lost. He doesn't live there. He was there visiting. And so maybe he got lost.
And I'm still trying to figure out where
she's turning it all around.
Unless Mr. Martin, Trayvon had his soda and Skittles under his hoodie. I don't know. How can someone rob somebody when you got candy?
I don't know. I think they screwed it all up. I'm hoping they make a federal case out of it. And screw everybody. That's what we pay the government for, all right?
Yes.
We want to talk about social welfare, then that's what we're doing. We're going to use our social welfare, and we're going to have this Attorney General go after them and seek it further.
Yeah. And
milk that cow, baby. Make sure that this shit gets cleared up, because it ain't clear to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, Gatika Rudra from ABC News, as we're showing that video of juror B37, this says right here that George Zimmerman, juror B37, has quickly dropped plans to write a book about being on the jury that acquitted him of murdering Trayvon Martin. The woman, who has remained anonymous since she was picked as a juror, ended her literary plans one day after her agent announced that she would write the book. In a statement, B37 said that being sequestered with her fellow jurors for nearly a month has insulated her from the intense emotions over the case. Supporters of Martin were outraged by the not guilty verdict. As the isolation shielded me from the depth of pain that exists among the general public over every aspect of this case. She said in a statement of her former agent Charlene Martin released to ABC station KABC. Her statement added, I have realized that the best direction for me is to go away from writing any sort of book and return instead to my life as it was before I was called to sit on this jury. The statement came late Monday night after B37 appeared on an interview on CNN. As we previously shown, her explanation of Zimmerman's acquittal prompted a petition on a website, change.org, calling on Charlene Martin to drop juror B37 from her agency, Martin Literary Management. The petition gained 1,346 signatures, 1,346 signatures, fulfilling a goal of 1,000 signatures, and has since been closed.
Yeah.
Martin Literary Management first announced it was working with the juror on a book proposal on Monday afternoon, 2 days after she and 5 other jurors found Zimmerman not guilty.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And, she already gave a reasoning, and you know what? I mean, it's just another way of skewering the facts, and I think that this juror is probably the one that's single.
Really?
She's all blacked out. She was the one that was the so-called minority. She sounded like a minority. She sounded like a black kind of Spanish woman.
Actually,
if you
I thought
listen
she
to
was
her
white.
dialect, she didn't sound like a white woman.
I think she was one of the white jurors
I
because
don't know how you heard that.
Trust me, I got that
well,
here.
Trust me,
I know.
I'm a minority too, and
I'm a minority
and I have to
who
deal
sounds
with 2
white.
or 3
I know.
languages. 2 and 3 languages. All right, I have to determine whether they know how to speak Spanish or French,
She sounded white.
and I could
I
tell.
know Spanish, French, and Hindi.
Well, you sound white.
Well, of course, that's why I said she's probably one of the few white jurors.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
Well, she wasn't black either. She was a mixed race.
Yes, well, I don't think that she was that one minority. I think she was one person. It just really just.
Well, I disagree, but that's all right. We can live. This is like the Zimmerman trial. There are people that are saying we can agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But
and well, let's see.
Yeah, that's the way.
In other news, in Florida, Florida must be encased with evil.
With what?
I mean, we had the thing, and then something must be plaguing Florida besides hurricanes and just. This is some. I don't want to say it's a wing dang doodle, but it's just really bad. So there must be something evil brewing in the state of Florida, and I'm not talking about just the hurricanes.
Yeah.
It says Manatee County deputies search for a man who kidnapped and sexually battered a 5-year-old girl. This is in Bradenton, Florida. Deputies are searching for a man who allegedly kidnapped and sexually battered a 5-year-old girl earlier this week, this past Monday. The attack occurred near Aloha Estates Mobile Home Park, located on the intersection of US 41 and State Road 70. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says around 1:00 p.m. on Monday, the girl was playing with another child when an unknown black man approached. Authorities say that the man lured the girl to a store and then to a vacant mobile home where she was choked and sexually battered. The 5-year-old was able to escape, run home, and tell a family member about the attack. The attacker is described as a muscularly built black man around 5'10", weighing 220 pounds with short or balding hair. Deputy says he appears to be between 30 and 45 years old. Last seen wearing baggy blue jean shorts, no shirt, and dark-colored tennis shoes. Detectives obtained security video of the suspect trying to board a Manatee Country Air Transit bus.
That's the one in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the video. I got it.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Bring it on, baby.
Go ahead and bring that on.
Yeah, keep talking while I get it.
Well, but anyone with information about suspect.
I'm amused.
Okay. Anyone with information about the suspect is asked to contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office at 941-747-3011 or Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. That's 866-634-TIPS.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't me. Hypoponic. But it's somebody that is here, right? That person.
He's from Florida.
Oh.
This is from
he's down by somebody else. Nowhere near here.
That's true.
I couldn't get to Florida. I don't even have a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have enough money to charter a plane there and back.
Like, my
So
goodness.
you're wrong, Hypo.
Exactly.
Hydro, whatever.
It's almost
Anyway.
it's almost a quarter till 10. It's wow. It's getting the temperatures is climbing. It's really getting hot in here.
Yeah, it's getting sweaty.
It's 78 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia. It's sunny, at least so far, with a high of 92 and a low of 72. On the morning roast right now, I have some news. Actually, Oh, you do have the.
We have the video. By the way, I just want to read a couple of chatters before we go on.
Okay.
Government statistics reveal that the percentage of all babies born to unwed mothers nationally rose to 32% in 1997, only from 5.3% in 1960. Among blacks nationally, 69% of births were to unwed mothers. Thank you, Real Man Pawns. Hopefully your statistics are correct. I'll take you at your word there.
Okay.
All right. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Michelle said, "I'll come and get you, Herb." All right. Well, come on down.
You have to give me a second. I got it. Coming up.
Okay. But I did have some. I guess this might be considered a wing dang doodle, at least close enough, at least on this hour right now. There is a glamour model and mother, 25 years old, charged with neglect after leaving her 2 young children in a parking lot for 3 hours while she went to the Lil Wayne concert. Voluptuous hip-hop model Brittany Harris, age 25, was arrested Saturday night after a Cruisian Amphitheater employee found her children, age 5 and 3, standing alone near a black Nissan Altima in a South Florida Fairgrounds parking lot, surrounded by quote-unquote intoxicated persons. She left her children alone. Ms. Harris left her children alone in the parking lot while she watched a Lil Wayne concert, and scores of her Facebook followers posted scathing comments about her bad parenting. Yeah. In his police statement, employee Barry Batchelor said that he noticed the kids hanging around unsupervised at about 7 p.m. and approached them around 9:45 p.m. when they were still alone. Says that Batchelor said the children told him that their mother went into the concert and left them to stay in the car, according to the smoking gun. He then took the children to a venue gate where he turned them over to the sheriff's deputies. Police found Harris, a hip-hop model also known as Pretty Red, which is tattooed on her chest, in the parking lot around 10:30 p.m. when the concert ended. After first assisting her cousin who had brought her children to the fairgrounds, Harris confessed that she came here and left her kids to stay in the car so she could watch the concert, according to the news source. She was charged with 2 counts of child neglect with child welfare. Officers reportedly ordered to take possession of the children, and she is in Palm Beach County Jail under a $20,000 bond.
I got the video.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go. We got a video.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
If you know this guy.
Deputies say he kidnapped a 5-year-old girl, bought her candy, and then raped her. Now at 6, the search for this man and why clerks at the store did not suspect he was doing anything wrong. Good evening, everyone. I'm Linda Hurtado. Wendy's off.
I'm Brendan McLaughlin. The man suspected of raping a 5-year-old girl is still on the loose tonight, but authorities hope new surveillance video from a Bradenton convenience store will lead to his capture. Our Eric Waxler's live in Bradenton with why the man brought the child to the store in the first place. Eric?
Yeah, Brendan, people in this neighborhood where the attack happened are still on edge tonight with this guy still on the loose. Authorities say it's straight out of the Child Predator Handbook. This suspect, they say, lured the little girl with the promise of candy, and what makes it all the more disgusting, the clerk at the store says the suspect bought the little girl this candy right here called Baby Bottle Pop. The video from inside the India Bazaar shows the man and his tiny victim. At this point, it appears the 5-year-old had no idea she was in danger.
And he just come and bought the candy and just left.
Mukesh Trivedi was behind the counter and says he recognized the child and the man, but didn't think there was anything wrong because he believed they were neighbors.
We know that guy, he used to come over here for his cigarettes.
Mukesh and his brother own this convenience store and gladly handed over their surveillance video to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
I feel so bad, that especially for the girl that 5 years old and not supposed to happen like that.
The Sheriff's Office says the girl was playing with a friend at the Wayside Glen Mobile Home Park yesterday afternoon. Her parents were home, but all it took was seconds for a predator to strike and take the little girl away. Investigators say he held her captive in this abandoned trailer nearby, where he choked her and raped her. They were also able to get surveillance video from a county bus as the suspect tried to get on and get away. As the manhunt continues, neighbors are disgusted and scared.
I'm shaken. I am. I'm really shaken because of all this.
The 5-year-old girl, meanwhile, was treated for the attack and is back home with her family.
Your heart drops, your stomach gets knots, and you really are hoping, thanking God, I guess, that nothing worse happened.
And the suspect reportedly told that bus driver that he wanted to go to Sarasota, so that's one place that investigators will be looking. They say they are following every lead. I just got off with the sheriff's office off the phone. They say they have not made an arrest yet, but they're hopeful that someone will recognize him from the video we just showed you. Live in Bradenton, Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
Yes, there you have it. There you have it. Manatee County, Florida. I'm going to say, hell's not hot enough for this guy.
All right, well, he's only muted for 5 minutes and come back online afterwards. There's too much bullshit going on.
Yes.
We got to calm down. We have a show here to run.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
I've been talking about that now.
Racist.
We got too much racism going on. I'm not about to be banned because you want to come on my show and sabotage it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. So if you guys want to stick around, by all means, but chill out.
Yes. Definitely. I do have one other story.
Here we go.
I know it's a really bad story, but it's, even though it's not racially motivated, but it is very tragic.
Yeah.
It's very tragic. Children die. Well, you already heard about how lunches are really bad here in America.
Yeah.
But it says that children died after eating school lunch in India. Some international news. It says in Patna, India, 19 children have died and more are sick after eating free meals at a primary school in eastern India. Bihar state official Amarajit Sinha says 28 children have been hospitalized in Patna, the state capital. 10 of them are in serious condition. The children are between the ages of 8 to 11. They fell ill after eating meals in the school on yesterday in Masarat, a village 80 kilometers or 50 miles north of Patna. The meal was cooked in the school kitchen. P.K. Saeed, the state education minister, says a preliminary investigation suggests the food had traces of phosphorus, which is used to preserve rice and wheat. Many of the state governments in India have launched midday meal programs for poor children. Malnutrition is one of the major health problems, major health concerns among Indian children. And I guess it's like no matter how bad it is in schools in America, there's always going to be something worse overseas around the corner.
Yeah. Well,
whether it's in education like Dalaman or whether it's in school lunches, there's always going to be something worse on someplace else.
Well, I think we're getting school lunches, right?
Yeah, we're getting school lunches, but they seem to, at least Food and Drug Administration at least try their best to at least get chemicals out of school lunches, among other foods, I guess, in whether it's the school lunches or supermarkets or other cafeterias, but phosphorus that is kind of bad, because phosphorus is it's a very toxic chemical when you're using it. It's used like I said, preserve, I guess, grains of wheat and rice. And although Americans like to eat bread, rice is probably much more plentiful in India and other third world countries. Especially, it's surprising that you would hear that they're dying of famine, which is very true in some poor places in India. And even some places in Africa or Latin America, what have you. Well, and some African nations, and also in Haiti. But sometimes you have to be really careful. I don't know how the standards are in those countries as far as like preparing foods and preserving them as well. Because if you have like that type of chemical like phosphorus, you have to be very careful about it or use some type of precaution, and hopefully it will not spill over where the part where it would be just totally unsafe to consume. And that's just something you have to look out for, no matter what country you're in.
Well, this is for anybody that has kept their mouth shut for a moment or so and not typing some shit down. This story was about children dying of food poisoning.
Phosphorus.
Phosphorus
Phosphorus.
poison.
That stuff glows in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In India.
That's bad.
In India.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So, in answer to your questions or comments,
It's hammer time.
we have to keep some kind of semblance of this ADHD down. You know, there's too much going back and forth with Volpobite and Rocco and this and that. It's too much already. Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Can't you just sit there and watch the show? Why do you always have to have a point to make? And if you have a point, why did you make a point about what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to get anybody or sense anybody off. But you guys are going off on some shit that I'm trying to keep up with, which is why I haven't been addressing you, you know, and reading your chat, because it's like all over the place.
Yeah,
All
right.
right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And that's it.
In 10 TV, children dying of phosphorus. How's that possible? Phosphorus burns intensely in oxygen, but you have to remember it glows in the dark. I mean, they don't know whether it glows dark because children have school in the daytime. How can it? How do they don't know if it glows in the dark because they don't have night school. That's what usually adults have. They have night school. Children have school in the daytime. I'm just as shocked as you why a country which has over 1 billion people has a problem with eating, with these food disorders, with these food programs. It shouldn't have to be that way, but unfortunately it is, and we have to have to be careful what we put in ourselves.
Yeah. Too much phosphorus. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
It's like a chemical.
Well, it is a chemical.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a chemical.
Yes.
So where do you get phosphorus from?
Where do you get phosphorus?
Yeah,
that is a very good question.
Well, does anybody know out there, where do you get phosphorus from?
Well, okay, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and find it. Actually, it's an element. Believe it or not, it's very, very prevalent because it's in the periodic chart. Since it's an element, it's in it.
She says the ground.
Yes.
I think phosphorus is a periodic table of elements.
Yes, it is. Phosphorus is a non-metallic chemical element with the symbol P, the capital P, and the atomic number 15. It says a multivalent percentagen. Phosphorus as a mineral is almost always present in its maximally oxidized state as inorganic phosphate rocks. Elemental phosphorus exists in two major forms, white phosphorus and red phosphorus. But due to its high reactivity, phosphorus is never found as a free element on Earth. The first form of elemental phosphorus to be produced, white phosphorus, is in 1669, which emits a faint glow upon exposure to oxygen, hence its name given from the Greek mythology, phosphoros, meaning light bearer.
Wow.
Latin, Lucifer.
That's a rock.
Yes, referring to the morning star, the planet Venus. The term phosphorescence, meaning glow after illumination, originally derives from this property of phosphorus, although this word has since been used for a different physical process that produces a glow.
That's what you start getting when you eat too much of it.
Yeah.
I guess you start getting dizzy and seeing real bright light.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that it?
Supposedly.
I know, I'm trying to be smart here.
Okay. I was just trying to see that about being phosphorus poisoning or something. It says it's usually used as a fertilizer.
There you go.
So that may be one of the reasons why it's on there, because it's used as fertilizer to help things grow, and obviously since India is over 1 billion people, almost 1.5 billion, they have, rice is much more quicker to grow, I guess, rice than it is wheat. Well, they grow both.
Right.
They have over 1 billion people, so people, but rice
and
is
I guess
much more ready.
Makes their bacteria grow in their stomach. Is that what it is?
Possibly.
You ever think of that? Maybe that's the poisoning.
Yeah, well, compounded with the phosphorus, that is. Compounded.
No, well, that explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. With Rowdy. Mm-hmm. That explains a lot. All right, so they got poisoned with phosphorus.
Yes.
In India.
In India. So 28 of them were poisoned. Some of them have died. 19 out of them have died. Some of them, 19 out of those 28 kids have died from it. Since it is,
and they got it from where? I mean, they got phosphorus, but where did they say they got it from?
From, I guess, maybe from the fertilizer.
And the fertilizer was what? The plants?
From wheat and rice. Okay. Because it's plentiful. Since they don't eat meat, they have to basically eat grains and vegetation.
I think they celebrate the cow. That's why.
Yes.
The cow is a sacred animal.
Sacred animals. Yeah. That's why you don't have no Burger Kings in India.
So. All right, let's move on to the next.
Well, it's 9:57. Just want to get in and finish this hour up with some birthdays.
Cool.
Happy birthday to all the sperm that won on this day in history.
Yes, indeedy. As a matter of fact, here's the number one birthday for July 17th. Middle Georgia's own Luke Bryan. Luke Bryan, he's 37 years old today.
Wow.
American country singer, known for his hit singles "Rain Is a Good Thing," "I Don't Want This Night to End," and "Drunk on You." Happy birthday to Luke Bryan. He's from Middle Georgia. He's turned 37 years old. And also, Guten Tag and happy birthday to the Hoff. David Hasselhoff, popular actor from Knight Rider and Baywatch and singing sensation in Germany. He's seeing God in Germany. He turned 61 years old today.
And a burger boy here in America.
Yes.
You're able to eat the burger while drunk as a skunk.
Yeah, Beth Littleford, she was a cast member from The Daily Show for 4 years. She turns 45 years old today. The late, great comedian Phyllis Diller, wild-haired actress and comedian with self-deprecating sense of humor, who used to work with Bob Hope and Bing Crosby.
Who's now dead.
Yeah, she died last year at the age of 95. She was born on this day in 1917. She would have been 96 years old. Donald Sutherland, the son of Kiefer Sutherland, the Canadian actor who played Hawkeye Pierce in the movie version of MASH, which was...
This is the father.
Yes, Donald Sutherland. Yes, he played Hawkeye Pierce in MASH, the movie version of it.
And he played in Invasions of the Body Snatchers.
Yes, he also played in Clute and in the movie of the same name.
Yeah.
So yes, he played Hawkeye in the movie version of MASH, whereas we know the TV version of that was played by Alan Alda.
Yeah, Young Guns also he was on.
Yes. Young Guns.
You know, he was well known to walk around without underwear. He never wore underwear.
To my Kiefer?
Yeah. No, the father.
Oh, Donald Sutherland, yes. He turned 78 years old today. 78.
Yeah, you let the people know. It's kind of like an Al Roker moment about saying that he crapped on himself. This guy's talking about that his schlong was so big that he couldn't even wear underwear.
Jeez.
I guess it was to turn the women on.
I guess
betted half of Hollywood.
I guess that's probably why Federico Fellini probably casted him in that movie Casanova back in the 70s, but that's neither here nor there. Tom Fletcher, English pop singer who fronts the platinum-selling band McFly. He turns 28 years old.
Yeah.
The late jazz singer Phoebe Snow, distinctive voice
she's
singer.
She's also dead.
Yeah, she's also dead. She died in 2011. She was born on this day in 1952.
I used to listen to her albums when she first came out. Mm-hmm. Wonderful singer.
Yeah, she had her first hit was Poetry Man, that hit song.
Poetry
she was also known as, not that many people know this, but she was the original. She sung the original theme of A Different World in its very first season back in 1987. Carrie Hart, Art Linklater was born on this day in 1912.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the host of TV's House Party in 1943 to 1967. He also had the show Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Yes.
Great
show.
He would have been 100 years old today on this day.
Yeah.
Carrie Hart, freestyle motocross racer who was married to the singer Pink, turns 38 years old. And also...
Like, who gives a shit?
James Cagney was born
I love James Cagney.
James Cagney was born on this day in 1899.
Yes.
He would have been 114.
And I got to meet James Cagney when he did that movie.
Ragtime?
Yeah, that's it.
Film.
Yeah, his last film. He was in Brooklyn, in Park Slope, filming at the Armory in Brooklyn. And I got to meet him. James Cagney.
That's incredible.
Yeah. What the hell?
How about that?
Yeah, a very nice man. From Brooklyn, by the way. He was
From
born
Brooklyn. How about that? Also, some other great actors and famous people. Diane Carroll, African American actress.
Oh, yes.
And groundbreaking sitcom Julia.
Yeah, she was one of the first black women on television.
Oh yes, definitely. She was also on. She was the first black woman to be casted in the TV show Dynasty.
And here we go.
She turned 78 years old today.
Get on that horse.
Summer Bichelle, American television film actress, recognized as Lila in the CW's revamped version 90210, and also in the controversial movie Tower. She turns 25.
There you have it.
Yes.
All right, and
also Camilla Parker Bowles.
Oh God.
Chris Charles' wife. She turned 66.
You have to remind me of that tampon lady, right?
Yes.
Here we go. Happy birthday to Tampon.
Yes, at 10:02 right now. Don't touch that mouse or remote. We'll be right back. We're going on our break at 78 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia. Sunny and 78 with a high of 91 and low of 92.
Sorry about that.
We'll be back with the Ant.
Yeah,
Anthony
the
B.
Ant
Harris.
is back. All right, he'll be back. We'll be
TV
back.
host turned mayoral candidate. We'll be back. After
Chill
this.
out, babies. Show's about to.
Yes.
What the hell? We can't even get off. There we go. Well, I'm getting off for a second.
Not everyone is good at running from the. Not everyone is good at running from the law. Although it's got to be hard to see people chirping you on Facebook after you're labeled fugitive of the day, and you say you're innocent. Hey guys, I'm Patrick Jones, Surf Buzz 60. Matthew Oliver, who is wanted in connection with a robbery by the Pasco County, Florida Sheriff's Office, noticed his photo was posted to the department's Fugitive of the Day series on Facebook. Decided to defend himself. He posted about his alibi, saying he was in the hospital and couldn't have been present at the time of the robbery. Matthew also says he's been framed by a crafty criminal mastermind crackhead and accuses the sheriff's office of slander. Well, considering Facebook isn't a court of law, Oliver was arrested without any resistance. Because if we learned anything from the movie The Fugitive, it's that the people whose job is to bring in fugitives don't want to hear excuses. I didn't rob anybody. I don't care. They just want to bring you in. Buzz 60. Now you know, pass it on.
On February 28th, a man was found unconscious at the Motel 6 in Palm Springs. He was carrying several photo IDs that identified him as Michael Boatwright. However, he has no memory of this name. He also has no memory of the pictures he was carrying, which show him with friends and family. Speaking only Swedish, he was diagnosed with transient global amnesia at Desert Regional Medical Center in March, where he is still staying.
Does he think that he'll regain his memory? Does he feel like it's coming back to him, or will it come back soon?
There are isolated incidents that pop up in my memory now and then, and it's like my mainstay, and also we talked about and this is the interpreter, we talked about something, ice fishing, which is common in the north of Sweden. And he must have, it's not that common now, so it must have been something from his childhood. And he, so things will pop up now and then, but it seems to be related to Sweden.
And, why are most of his memories related to Sweden? Or does he know? Is it his childhood, or?
Okay. I believe that I remember those things because they come from a time in my life when I felt secure and safe. And the psychiatrist had also agreed with that theory, that made sense.
The first thing, when they gave him his identification, he said he was Johan Eck, if that's correct. Where did he get that name, and why, does he think that's his identity?
When I first woke up in the emergency room, that's the name I knew that I had. That was my name, Johan Eck. And it feels natural to me, and it feels natural for me to answer to that name.
Okay, and what would you say to people who might not believe that he's actually experiencing this, or might think that believe that he's being dishonest?
Walk in my shoes for one day. then you'll experience the nightmare of a lifetime.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man song. He's the man. He's the man. I don't take no crap from anybody else but you. I wear the pants around here when I finish with your laundry. Cause I'm a guy you don't want to fight. When I say jump, you say yeah right. I'm the man of this house until you get home. He's the man. He's the man. What I say goes around here, right out the window. And I don't want to hear a lot of whining, so I'll shut up. The sooner you learn who's boss around here, the sooner you can give me my orders, dear. Because I'm head honcho around here, but it's all in my head. He's the man. He's the man. And I can have sex any time that you want. Because I'm a man who has needs, but they're not that important. And don't expect any flowers from me, because if I'm not mistaken, you prefer jewelry. I'm the king of my castle when you're not around. He's the man. He's the man. And I'll drink and watch sports whenever I want to get in trouble. And I'll come home when I'm good and ready to sleep on the couch. Because a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and I'm going to do what you tell me to, because I'm top dog around here, but I've been neutered. He's the man.
And we are back. Who is this guy?
Who is that masked man? I'm almost Zorro.
Yes.
I got the stash, I need the eyes.
For the first time in 3 months.
Welcome back, Rocco. This is Anthony B. Harris, folks.
I cannot lie. I did cut down that cherry tree.
Yes, Anthony Harris.
Yes, Mr. President.
Actor turned talk show host turned mayoral candidate.
Yeah. But he's always been a lunatic.
Yeah, a little of all of it.
Okay.
A little of all of it. But welcome back.
Thank you, brothers.
Good to have you.
Brothers in arms.
Yes.
And brothers.
We'll always love you.
Of different mothers.
And
thankfully, Derek says. Derek's like, thankfully.
Hey,
I'm glad we got different mothers.
Do me a favor,
Derek.
Derek.
I sure as hell don't want my mom responsible for these two.
Yeah.
3. Okay, sorry.
Derek.
It's y'all's show. I need to shut up.
Do me a favor. You have a better voice.
Okay.
I want you to sing that very freaking annoying song that Whitney Houston used to sing. And
I don't know if I can hear that.
The Dolly Parton song?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it was originally Dolly Parton, then it went to Whitney Houston.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, well, I'm so glad to have you back, Mr. Candidate.
Thank you very much, and I'm so glad you welcomed me so well by Ed Werner and David Kuzno.
Yes, isn't that great? I love it.
I love it.
Wow.
See, if I was any other of the candidates except Kuzno, I would have stormed out of here the minute I saw that shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not on the show, and I would have left like a little pussy.
Like a little girl.
That's the way I would have been.
But you're a man's man.
We don't have food. I'm out of here.
You can face your enemies face to face.
Yes. I don't give a shit. People are entitled to their opinion. They can vote who they want for. I don't even hold it against friends or enemies if they don't vote.
By the way,
I just need to do something about the problems in this city, which we're going to address. Tomorrow's meeting is also.
Yeah.
You can't fire Burns. He's already quit.
Yeah, Burns quit on it.
I agree.
I mean, he was young.
But I can still go after Sutton. I can still go after Sutton.
Ricker's already come up with this thing, trying to help the youth intervention.
Right.
Because he wants to get elected. He hasn't done a damn thing in 5 years. What has he done?
Right. Well, you're right.
We're going to have that community meeting. You're going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be a wing-dang doodle of a day.
Yes.
Showing our faces and everybody is talking about.
A few new way wieners, maybe I'll vote for you.
No, I'm not buying a vote.
Well, no. But I think it's a good time during this time with Trayvon Martin being killed. And by the way, Benjamin Crump, the black guy that's his lawyer,
the one you talked to at the
funeral? One that we talked to in Sammy Davis
Sammy.
Jr. And Junebug incident. For those of you who've been with our show for a while, you know all about the Junebug and Chief and the mayor and our protests and all that other good stuff.
Yes, which actually ironically happened, his Junebug's murder happened like exactly 10 months after Trayvon Martin was killed.
Yeah. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
so even Mr. Crump, even Mr. Crump said to me personally, he says, the reason why I'm here is because this feels a lot like the Trayvon case. So help me God. Once again,
actually, this I think the Sammy case even holds more water than the Trayvon case, because with the Trayvon, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to take sides. I already think the guy Zimmerman did wrong by not listening, backing down. He's already making a mistake there. I agree. Now, I'm not going to question whether, because I don't know his record, but I'm not going to question what some of the stuff I heard, whether Trayvon was looking through people's windows as he walked through there, whether they found burglar tools in his locker, like they say. They said his autopsy showed he was on drugs, whatever. I'm not going to question any of that because I wasn't there and I don't know whether that's truth. But when you compare it to Sammy doesn't even have those accusations against him.
Right.
You can't say Sammy had burglar tools.
No.
He had drugs in his system.
Or he had PCP
or he was
affiliated with a gang.
Or he was writing things out on his blog talking about how he wants to buy a gun. There's nothing on Sammy that you can say that about.
Right.
So to me, there's more doubt in the Sammy case than there is in the Trayvon case.
Well, I'm going to talk to Crump and see.
Yes.
And I talked to, I didn't really give Cheryl much update on this, but I have Trump's card right here in my office in the back.
Trump's card, I like it.
Yeah, I got Trump's Trump card, and I'm going to give him a call and say, listen, if you're going to do this thing with, Eric Holder, if you really are going to be involved in that
who has connections to Macon?
Well,
his sister lives here. Eric Holder. Yeah,
right.
He came and visited here. His sister's from here.
What I'm going to say is there any way that you can present this case as part of the bigger picture of things that go on in this country?
Yes,
and where racial profiling is there, and so on and so on, which in fact is what happened here in Macon, Georgia. And how he can work that in, even in reference.
Yes.
And if it means that we have to go.
Yes.
Basically talk about our case. And they know it already because the federal government was here. The GBI report, obviously, Eric Holder's office already got a hold of the crap that went on here.
Right.
If you remember.
Right.
And so I'm just going to ask him, is there any way you can kind of present this as another case of racial profiling?
Well, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say it already went to the Department of Justice, and the difference of the two is that when Trayvon went to the Department of Justice, they saw that there was legal, reasonable doubt or unreasonable doubt that this is something worthy of a trial, whether Zimmerman was fighting back or whether Zimmerman's a cold-blooded killer.
Yes.
So that's why they decided. They're going to say the Department of Justice decided Sammy's case was just an open and closed thing. He attacked the officer shot him. But it's beyond that because it goes back to what we always say on here. I'm not going to reiterate this, but I will for a minute, is that Sutton should have never been on the force because of his bad record, which Cheryl, did you see the post Cheryl Davis, Sammy's sister, sent me? Of the actual statute from the law book about officers, every one of those that it says you can't do, Sutton did.
Yeah.
And Burns and the police upper echelon did. Every one of them. They didn't do anything about his bad record, which is illegal. They didn't do anything about complaints from people, outside citizens, which was obvious in Sutton's record. So I think, without a doubt, this has more of a stance than, and I'm not saying the Trayvon thing doesn't have a stance because there are things Zimmerman did wrong. But my comparison is that out of the two, Trayvon looks a hell of a lot more like a criminal than Sammy if you just took what you're being told. by what
Right,
you're
right.
told,
You're
is
saying what's being told.
that he had burglar tools. Trayvon, they said that in the case. Of course, I didn't watch the court case. I didn't care to watch it. But what I had heard after the facts, when I picked out stuff, and that he there was letters he wrote saying he was trying to buy a gun, which that's not a crime.
Right.
Well, I guess for a kid, but
Yes.
right to bear
Underage.
arms is legal. But and the drug thing, I'm not going to get into because I've always been a believer in drugs. No drug should be illegal.
Right.
I think all drugs should be legal. I just think you're an idiot if you're going to put some of them in your body,
Right.
such as heroin, coke and stuff like that. But I think it's your body to decide that. So I'm not going to get into whether Trayvon had pot in his system, But he has a lot more so-called going against him than Sammy had. Sammy's an unarmed guy sitting on a bench outside a grocery store, which he did for years.
Okay, time for the question.
Okay, but on the other hand, you could say the same thing about like Sutton. I mean, Sutton did, but a lot of people say, well, hey, he was doing his job. He is a cop. Zimmerman wasn't. He wasn't even a cop. He wasn't a deputy. He wasn't even. You can't even.
Each one has its own weight.
He was a wannabe.
He wasn't even a rent-a-cop because at least rent-a-cops are hired.
He was a neighborhood watch guy.
Yeah, neighborhood watch guy.
Each one has its own weight to.
He watched too many Inspector Gadget cartoons
Yeah,
when he was
and-
young and wanted to be a detective.
Yeah, he was basically an overgrown Barney Fife, a real life Barney Fife.
Yeah.
And the guy just basically stalked the guy, which I said, personally, he should have been just charged just for at least stalking and attempted kidnapping if they had enough evidence, because
and stalking a minor.
Yeah, stalking a
which
minor.
almost comes then into
pedophilia.
Yeah,
if
you want.
That's what
And
I'm
of course,
arguing.
they said, something had that mark on his neck. They said that he attacked him. Although, if you saw in the comment that Cheryl met a couple of women who told her, from Warner Robins, who told her that I was there and I dropped my baby. Well, why the hell didn't you speak up during the GBI report?
We think some did, because remember, we heard a lot of the final report said that there were a lot of other witnesses that said other things, but they just decided to take the 60 or 70-year-old white ladies,
the right to life
white
law.
ladies, all beautiful and all godly account, and just throw everything else out the window.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's what they did.
Exactly, which they did.
Because I'm sure they interviewed so many people, and I'm sure they heard probably 5 different things.
And they used schizophrenia against
and and what's so sad, well, not to go off too topic, but I mean, as bad as a record as Sutton has, and he was a cop. He couldn't even. Zimmerman couldn't get into police academy and save his life. I mean, how can you?
Because of his.
Yeah,
he was a wannabe.
Because he was a wannabe. He abused his wife. He was an abusive person. Nobody delved into his violent background.
Which Sutton was accused. Some people accused Sutton of getting arrested in Centerville for abusing his wife.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not to mention, the dude took MAA courses, but had a cover your what?
I didn't know that.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
Zimmerman took MMA courses.
Yeah, he took some MMA fighting courses. Now, how can you be a cop and you can't fight, but yet you have a gun?
He's trying to learn to be one.
Yeah, and then not to mention, and plus not to mention, he can't take a order. Stay in your car. No, I'm going to protect the neighborhood. Like, come on now.
By the way, Seafluck, the MPD does not have a procedure approaching people with mental illness in this county and in the city. That is the beef that I had with City Hall. That I was saying, you guys don't even have a procedure like having tasers, learning how to deal with people with mental illness.
Which they now got because of this.
Well, now they
After
do.
the fact, yes.
Now they do.
We're responsible, and we're gonna pat ourselves on the back. We're responsible for really about 5 things that they've now changed in the city of Macon.
Yes,
technically we are.
What?
Over the whole Sammy case, we are responsible.
Well,
okay, let's go.
Speaking, moving on, because we got to get serious here.
Yeah, bring up
We're going to give you some questions
right.
that I hope is going to get to the heart of your
I've
campaign.
had a lot of sex before marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and answer that one.
There you go.
That's how he rolls.
You know what they say about boxers, though? You have too much sex, you're going to be a weakling.
Okay.
Are you sure you're ready for a fight?
Well, that's true. That's true. They don't let boxers have sex like a week.
Like a month.
I thought that was a week before.
Well, it depends on the boxer.
They
but
want
some
them angry.
I think
they want them like a
the
rabid
Spanish
dog.
guys who are really horny.
Yeah.
I think they give them a month.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I'm surprised that every time you watch 2 brothers box, you don't see like some big ass tents being pitched the whole damn time they're boxing because they're so damn horny that they're like, bam.
Well, they probably got an ace bandage taped around.
At least Tyson didn't bite Vander Holyfield's wee-wee. He went for his ear.
Well, I guess here's the first
let's
question.
do this.
Now,
go for it.
Let's
now,
get serious.
I just want to know. Now before, when you were still on this show, and being
which I love and I miss.
Yes.
I
want to say this. Now,
that's the bottom
didn't you? Now, this I guess would be the first question. Now, didn't you say that you didn't want to have nothing to do with politics? Now, what made you? What motivates you?
Talk about a
become
flip-flop.
a mayor candidate.
And he accuses me of being a flip-flop.
I mean, now you were saying you were in arrogance, but you didn't want to be in politics, but now you're running for mayor.
Okay.
What's next? So you want to be a Baptist minister 5 years from now?
You're going to say something now.
Right.
And later on, you're going to flip-flop.
Okay.
I believe.
I love this question. I love the hard-hitting
Are you
questions.
a flip-flopper? That's the question.
No.
Okay.
I'm just a little...
What motivated you?
I'm a little bipolar.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Oh, look at that. You're Mr. B bipolar.
I just said that to
love
make a big joke. Okay, out of the Donnie thing. Because I saw Donnie.
I think you believe
No, this is the truth, guys. And it is not a publicity stunt.
Okay.
Of course, there were a few times we used to joke outside Roasted about we should just all run for mayor the next time.
Yeah,
we had like a list of 15 people that were going to run.
And actually run as a unit. Like if you vote for one, you vote for us all.
Right. We joked about that about a year ago, right? But the thing about it, what happened is honestly, and I told you this before, I struggled with it. I wanted to run the first time they were having the qualifying.
Right.
And I said, no, that just isn't.
Missed opportunity.
It's against my beliefs. It doesn't make sense. It just really doesn't make sense. I agree, it doesn't. And it's unheard of, and it can be called flip-flopping or hypocritical or whatever. But then I said to myself, but you know what? I said, if something happens, if for some reason this election is stopped or moved to November 5th, I'm going to take it as a sign that I need to jump back in this now. And then I also said, Irvin, that you should, because you missed your pay the first time. I was like, Irvin, this is somebody telling you something. You need to now jump back in.
Well, Al Tillman, before he went off on you.
Well, I had a good conversation with him.
Asked me if I was running. By the way, we got a guy named George Zimmerman here.
All right.
And he says, I'm free, bitches, yay. So there you have it. You have even George Zimmerman.
Let me ask him, are you the one that got Casey Anthony impregnated recently? Okay. Anyway, so my thing was, look, maybe I should run. And then I thought about it. I'm number 7 entering the race. Being kind of a numerologist, we had the 19 factor all the time.
Yeah.
And 7, I'm not a religious guy, but 7 is supposed to be the what? Good luck, godly number, the heavenly number. I said, well, you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to run. I come in as number 7, lucky 7. I said, you know what? And we really, even though we got some things, and I like the segue here, even though we got some things accomplished through the Sammy Davis case, junior case, Junebug, I just felt like, you know what? If it doesn't go any further, it's dead. It's dead in the water. No one else wants to do anything about it. But if I throw myself in the ring, then I use that as my platform, part of my platform of not only trying to keep the message alive and get it out there, but also to get those people that know I'm the guy that am standing up for this injustice. And guess what? You might want to have me as your mayor. So I thought, and then I thought this, which I got a little bit of a.
By the way, platform. What is your platform?
Okay, platform involves numerous things.
Okay,
numerous things. Okay,
number 1.
The first 3 things I'm gonna do if I am elected mayor of Macon, Georgia, is I'm going to do what I told the mayor and Carswell and Burns should have done. I'm gonna pull all the files of the police force. Okay. Now I'm aware, before you jump on me about the sheriff's now coming in here and he's gonna run the police force. You're right, and he is now elected official like the mayor. But studying this and looking up on this stuff, the mayor still does have somewhat of power over the police force, even though the sheriff is now the sole leader.
Yeah, he has to go to the sheriff.
He still has the power, and then he still has the power to get rid of people by taking those files in front of the council, which will become the commissioners, the 9 commissioners.
Right.
So my plan is that I'm going to still pull out the files of every officer. I'm going to pull out the bad ones. I'm going to talk to them personally. I'm going to talk to them with the chief of police, but at the time, it'll then be Sheriff Davis, no longer Carswell.
And all right, so that's the first thing you do?
That's the first. That's the first step.
All right,
the first
2.
day.
You're going to go through all the records of the police. Next.
Okay. Then I'm going to look into the budget, and I'm going to start cutting the pay.
Cutting the fat.
Of some of these city workers and officials that to me are getting way too much damn
Okay,
money.
give me first 3 offices you'll look into. The first 3 government offices.
First one, mayor. I'm giving 2/3 of my pay back to the city.
Okay.
Mayor's getting $100,000 a year. Apparently, Rickard's trying to get it up to $125,000 before this election, but I don't.
So you're going to cut the pay of city workers, including yourself.
Me first.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go to the 9 county commissioners, and I'm going to cut all of their pay, at least by 1/3, at least.
Okay.
Okay. Then I look into these city workers.
Right.
Secretaries. Ones that are sitting in the offices all damn day doing paperwork, trash people. I'm going to look at these jobs. I'm going to look at the importance of these jobs. The jobs that are very important and are necessity will get to keep their pay or even get a little bit higher pay than they've been getting.
Okay.
The ones that I think are getting paid too much for what they're doing, I will try to move to cut their pay.
All right. Now, what about the revitalization of 2nd Avenue, that project that is the sweetheart baby of Mayor Rick?
I'm glad you brought it up because driving over here, I wanted to bring this up on my own, but you just brought it up for me. Let me tell you, the 2nd Street thing is a great idea because the whole downtown should spread, period, all the way to the LEC. I've said that for years before.
Well, they want to really connect this neighborhood with downtown. This neighborhood right here.
Right.
They want to facilitate the stuff that's here and make it easier access to downtown. So they're going to widen the roads. Right. They're going to rebuild the bridge. Yeah.
The problem with Rickard's plan is that he's only concentrating on 2nd Street. His second problem is that Rickard's only doing this because he wants to get the votes and he wants to leave a legacy behind in his first year and a half or term and a half. He didn't. He never completed.
Kind of
his
like
second
what
term.
Jack Ellis did.
But the difference is, if you remember, and I'm not a Jack Ellis fan, but the difference is, Jack Ellis, he started making all sorts of changes when he first got in there.
I know.
I mean, he started naming bridges after people.
Well, he
started
did the
building
project on Poplar
He
Street.
started building bus station stuff. Okay, he didn't wait till the last minute.
Right.
Rickard, he's waiting till the last minute because he's like, oh shit, I got to start showing some of my work being done by showing all this construction right now around election time. You notice you go downtown. I went downtown yesterday to get my signs, or 2 days ago, and you know how many damn places are being worked on all of a sudden?
Yeah.
You got guys digging up sidewalks over there. You got them working on lofts here. And I'm thinking, look at it. This is a Rickard move to show, look what I'm doing for the city. We're moving forward. I'm building shit up. But here is the
Rickard rush. Rickard bum rush.
But here's the joke about it all. Is he's only doing it through grant money.
Right.
He's only doing it through money that
Well, he's got
basically they
Newtown
had to
Megan.
beg for.
They're all together.
And basically, you're a rich beggar, is what you are.
Yeah.
In other terms, because you know what? Rickard knew darn well that if there was no grant money from the big higher up white rich people to keep Rickard in office through this grant, if there was not those people to do it, Rickard would have no leg to stand on. He already has a slim leg to stand on because of the cop
Because he
situation.
never really got together with the community.
Well, and he screwed up with the Sammy Davis thing. But now they're trying to correct it. They're trying to smooth it over, and so he can have all his signs out. They're going to say, "Let's continue building a better Macon." And building, keyword building. You go, you see all this shit being built downtown all of a sudden. But the thing about it, if you're a city that keeps having to borrow money by doing grant after grant, you're never going to get off your feet. Never.
Well,
I
they
don't care
have
what
Mercer
you do.
University money to play
Well,
with as
College Hill Corridor is the only place that really knows how to do business.
Right.
They know how to use the money, and they're sweeping up the whole city, one by one.
One
the
by
whole block
one.
will be Mercer. Macon will be called Mercer, Georgia in about 10 years.
Yeah.
It will be. They'll change it
Mercer
to Mercer
University,
Georgia. No, it'll
Georgia.
just be Mercer, Georgia. But that's fine. But the city doesn't know what to do. And the reason they keep begging for money is because, what I just said, too many people are overpaid, too much money's going out of the city, and nothing's coming in. And then on top of it, you're borrowing to pay for lofts being built, a big-ass country venue, and all this shit that's probably not going to last.
By the way, this goes back to the Ellis years, which when Jack Ellis was on our show, if you remember.
Yes.
Where did the money go? Where did the money go? It went to salaries, like he said.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars
And it
that he
shouldn't.
took out of the bank, and he gave it to salaries. So that's a good point, right?
I like it. Yes. It's perfect. It's perfect.
That's kind of the same thing that's going on now. And the only way that they're getting the money now, as opposed to then, was through grants to get anything done, because they spend all the money that comes into the city on employees.
That's right. And they just got another grant in the news about 4 days ago.
They keep giving themselves a raise.
Okay. Speaking of grants in downtown, now everyone's talking about building something in downtown and trying to rebuild it and everything, whether it's through Newtown, Macon, or what have you. Right. The question is, what about the rest of the city? I mean, we have dilapidated.
I'm glad you brought
dilapidated buildings all over the city, particularly in my neighborhood in South Macon. There's the old Westgate Mall that's there. Right. I mean, you have
Village Green. There's Rocky Creek. This side of town.
Well, if you remember,
it used to be a mall, and Westgate used to be a mall before the Macon Mall. Well, at least.
Well, if you remember, just recently, all of a sudden, Mayor Rickett had an epiphany, and he woke up out of his stupor, or stupidity, and all of a sudden realized, and he, headlong right into the Pleasant Hill project.
Yes.
He went there and he started looking around with the neighborhood ministers and all that. Let me take a look at all the abandoned housing.
Let me get into the black people.
It took you a third term to figure that out.
That's my point. Rickard was doing nothing, and now he's trying to do everything to catch up so that he can grab some votes. That's exactly what he's doing. And the most politicians do that. But see, what I did is, and I don't have money much to have a campaign, so this is what you're going to be getting from me. But I basically wrote out a few months ago some of the things I'm going to work on for the city, which I'll get to one of Derek's questions because some of that stuff's in here. And then what I did is I printed them out, and I'm going to just print like thousands of copies of these. So when I start hitting the street, I'm just going to pass these out.
And what do they say?
It's basically everything off of Facebook of what I'm going to do if I become mayor, or try to do. You read these all. And what I did is just transfer them to paper so that I could give them to people as I go walk around the neighborhoods. But you brought that up, and of course I have that stuff I just said on here. Derek's issue, though, yes, I want to do this. I want to once a month also, including myself in the middle of it all. I'm not going to sit at home or go play golf, do it on weekends. I'm going to get people together, other community activists, people like you guys, other leaders, so-called leaders, people, and we're going to hit a different area, a different neighborhood a weekend, and we're going to clean that neighborhood. We're going to clean that neighborhood, and we're going to go everywhere. And I can just go do it in North Macon.
Right.
We're going to do it down here. We're going to go to Village Green. And we're going to do it every month. A different section we're going to pick of the city, county. That's another thing I want to do. I had this idea about trying to get community gardens in all these areas.
They have a small one downtown.
That's my point. Everybody always puts these community gardens in the places where it needs the least help. People that can make pretty good money, like North Macon and stuff, or that are doing okay surviving, they can have the community garden, but they don't need it. What we need to do is get this empty land down here on this side of town, other side of town, and teach those people to have a community garden.
Exactly.
And this is the way it works. Everybody, you're entitled to take, and of course it goes back to respecting your neighbor, which I always stand for, and the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And the thing about it is, you only get to take part of the garden if you're responsible for growing part of the garden.
Right.
So you get a big plot of land. You can get a guy come in there. He goes, "I want to start growing carrots." He grows the carrots. Another person says, "I want to start growing the squash."
Well, how would you prevent somebody coming in and planting some marijuana plants?
You wouldn't every time, but you would have.
Yeah, so they say community garden does grow pot.
But if that happens, it happens. But the community garden would be monitored every week or two, right? If you find that stuff growing, naturally, who's going to tear it down? They're the cops.
And who's going to smoke?
And we're not going to worry about that because it comes down to nature. And to me, the law of nature supersedes any man-made law.
Right.
And nature is growing stuff. Nature is making food, putting food on your table, right? Without having to go rob, without having to go take someone else's, whatever. Shop, if you can grow your own food, and then from your food, you're allowed to take this person's tomatoes, a couple of tomatoes, home for your dinner that week.
A community garden.
Exactly. Now, but you put them in all the city. You don't just put them in one spot.
Right.
I already brought it up. There's one downtown. That's it. Well, we don't need it downtown.
And I don't get anything out of that.
You put them into places where you need them, and not only are you teaching people of lower class or just lower income scale, whatever you want to call it, you're not only teaching them a responsibility right, of how to care and nurture for something, because we need them to do that with their kids. People's kids are getting killed left and right. We got this guy in the news today who was doing child pornography. I don't know if you talked about him, the local guy.
All right, okay. I got a question.
Okay.
Community is a key word.
Yes.
How will you build community other than gardening? Good question, C-Flug.
Very good. Thank you, Mr.
How will you
CF.
do it, Ian?
Well, I got a lot of things. Through the community garden. I want to also incorporate downtown.
Okay, keep
it quick. Downtown. I'm gonna say it quick. Downtown. I want to get a block or two, and I want to give that to the indigenous people that were in Macon before.
Okay.
I want to have.
Nations people.
I want to. There's people brought up. There's not a lot of those people surviving yet, still anymore, but
Yeah.
they are. They just live in places like Oklahoma and New Mexico. They are. If you get a hold of the Cherokee Nation, which started here, and the Creek Nation.
Cherokee people.
Yeah, you hated that song, didn't you? Or maybe not. I thought that was one of the ones you hated.
Uh-huh.
But if you get a hold of those people and you let them know, look, we want to do this, they come down, they look at buildings, then they take part, they might take pride, they might be like, you know what, we get a whole block or two, like New York has, right? You have a Little Italy, you got a Jewish section. I mean, New York has got sections all over.
Right, you're going to call this area?
Little Indian.
Little Indian.
No, but Indian's really not right. They're not Indians.
because
I'll call
Indians in India.
I'll call them Little Natives.
Well,
in about 5-10 years, everybody will be
First
every 5-10 years, everybody will be saying, "Hey, man, let's go hang out at Little Natives."
No, call them Little Redskin.
Little Redskin.
I don't know about
Little
that.
scalp hunters. No. Anyway,
Little
I'm not politically correct. But
scalp.
Little Wampa.
Yeah.
No. So I want to do that for community.
Harris are his alone in this.
I want to do that for
They're
community.
my Joe. What the hell?
That's right. I want to do that for the community.
That would be great.
Back
to serious.
I want to give, and a lot of people don't like this one because again, it steps on the good old boys and the good old money. But I want to get rid of the Cherry Blossom Festival.
Well,
I want to make it a 2-day or 3-day event.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant by going. I don't think you really want to get rid of it.
No,
you want to cut it back.
I want to cut it back. And what I want then in place of it is a 10-day music festival to celebrate Macon's real history.
Right.
Yes.
And that festival, I'm not talking about a 10-day festival where we just have the same local 5 bands playing all time. I'm talking about a festival where you bring in big acts. You throw in the local acts.
Yeah.
You bring in regional acts. You bring in statewide acts. And then what you do, because let's face it, only a certain smidgen of Cherry Blossom during the run is for the older people, correct? You guys would agree.
Yeah.
They come out during the noonday, they get their free ice cream, they do their daytime. Come nighttime, Cherry Blossom is for the who?
The youth.
The youth, the young.
Yeah.
Nighttime, it's time to party, get drunk, go to bars, whatever. Go to Central City Park, listen to bands. So if you want to so badly keep Cherry Blossom because of the old age factor, the old people that want something nice to go to,
which I think they should have.
They should. But why not cut it to 3 days? They can get their fill in 3 days on a Friday, a Saturday, Sunday. Direct that Cherry Blossom more towards the old people. Don't having the bands, the hip young bands, play at that 3 days.
Yeah, but they have a lot of things going on at the Cherry Blossom. They have the ice cream giveaway.
Keep it.
And
for 1 day that weekend.
And
or
they
Saturday
have
or
all
Sunday.
the pink garbage cans out. They have the
who cares?
speakers. They have some of the bad singers and some good singing.
And cut all that shit down.
Well, I mean, and then they have the Japanese people coming in from Japan.
Well, they can come in for
groups.
They can
and
come
they
in for 3
show
days.
up.
Yeah, Tokyo
So it's
Alley.
I think it's too big to cut back. Although,
But it hadn't made money, or
even
it-
5 days.
It hadn't made money.
I think
recently.
5 days.
3 at the most. And then have a music festival. And the music festival will bring the community together because, C-Fluke, I believe music brings people together. As
By the
hokey
way,
as that
Anthony,
sounds.
at the flea market to your Cherry Blossom, people love that stuff.
I already have that on there. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's
Okay.
great.
But my
that
idea,
was from Vorpalbite.
But my idea of Vorpalbite is not a flea market there. My idea is that set up a waterside style flea market and entertainment area
What does that mean?
along the Okmulgee. I'll write it. I wrote, since we are in tough economic times, city needs to set up a waterside style business and entertainment area. First stage in that process is to organize a flea market at the Okmulgee River / Riverwalk, which allows any and all to set up and sell their goods. This will be a way for those that are unable to find employment to make a living and provide for themselves and their family. It will start out as a weekend event, and if it continues to succeed, it becomes a daily routine. At the end of the day, the vendors will give 10% of what they made to the city / toward the upkeep of the program.
Oh,
It'll be
yeah.
tax-free.
Okay.
Right.
So basically, you go, you set up anything. If Irvin goes and makes $100 one day, end of the day, he gives $10 to the city and for the upkeep, and he keeps $90, and everybody's happy. Right?
Now, what about
Right.
Bragg Jam? That's already here.
Yeah,
Bragg
that's
Jam.
a question.
And what's
That's a good
Smiley's Much? I never heard of that.
But see,
Smiley's flea market.
Smiley's is in the unfortunate
Yeah, I
area.
know. I was in Smiley.
I used
had
to
a
sell
booth
there. But they're in the unfortunate area of being way south Macon. There needs to be something like that on this coming this side.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why you use the Riverwalk. And then if the Riverwalk thing works, then you build up to what they talked about years ago of having an actual big waterside style storefront on the river.
Right.
To where you have your stores in there, your clothing
Well,
stores, your
he
record
says,
stores.
why not a flea market in an abandoned downtown building would be weatherproof?
Because people love to go outside on the weekends.
There is
They love to
actually-
be out in the sun. Here comes somebody. Oh, that's it.
Actually, there is a
And they
flea
could
market.
use a Plan B.
Actually, there is a flea market which is across the
Inside.
street. Well,
The old
inside.
Toys R Us.
Yeah,
Or
well,
not
the
Toys R Us.
old Kroger. The old Kroger was
Yeah.
next to, which is also another empty
Right.
building, as
Right.
well as the Circuit City
Right.
building. That's
But
also-
imagine if you get your people from all sides of the town
Mhm.
and they're selling something. You got the old guy who maybe grows watermelons over in South Macon.
Okay.
He can then go to this venue, this weekend thing,
Yeah.
set up a booth, sell his watermelons, keep 90% of what he makes.
Okay.
And give
Doesn't have to
10%
give
back.
to the Texas bat. It's tax free, and then that way everybody's winning.
Okay, we got to keep this moving
Okay.
because we got 15 minutes.
Let's
now,
go to 11:30.
let's talk about.
Okay.
That's fine. Let's.
Okay.
I'm down.
I'm
by the
missing.
way, let's go back here a little bit because I
it.
know. Thank you, brother. You're talking about a flea market. You're talking about events, and
Yes.
that's wonderful. That
Yes.
brings in business. But what about jobs? What are you going to do about the joblessness that's here? How are you going to get businesses to come and invest? Not in these big, expensive stores that nobody goes and buys
I
in.
don't know, like big companies.
But I'm talking about the
Lanes.
mom and pops that are the backbone of American business.
300 employees.
Because we
500
got enough
employees.
malls in
I
North
agree.
Macon.
I agree.
And by the way, North Macon, I heard from one gentleman who I met yesterday, and he's been an activist for many years now, about 35 years here in Macon. And he fights for the way the streets are designed and the new people are coming in and putting in new streets. Anyway, he said to me that North Macon wants to become its own city.
I've heard that
And it's
before.
going to be like North Macon City.
They want to basically
They want to
secede.
separate.
They want to secede.
What are you going to
from
do
the city.
about that mindset that's in North Macon, which you kind of live in that area, right? And
Back
how
and
are you going to
forth.
make them gel in with the black population in our communities that live in what they call the ghetto or the hood downtown? How are you going to meld these people together?
Let me answer your first question,
Bring
and
some
then I'll get
unity.
to that one. Let me ask you the first one about the jobs.
Right.
Okay, naturally, I don't think anybody's Superman or Superwoman and can really technically ever get everybody a job. That's impossible. We know that. You're going to have a level of unemployment no matter how good your economy
What
is.
level would
It
you
always
like
happens.
to see it at?
But this
What
is
would
what
be
I'm going to
your
do to try
target
to
goal?
help. This is what I'm going to try. I would get. It goes back to my job thing. I would cut jobs. I would cut money in the city workers.
Call it
If
Obamaville.
these city workers didn't like it, too bad. Find another job. Now, when you have those people out of there, you bring other people in, and of course you got another person unemployed then. But one way to start on help with the employment too is by putting people in jobs that deserve the job.
Yeah.
Example: Derek Barrett. The guy's got 15 years in a station, and then he went to school for it. Derek Barrett should have a job in that
Right.
market. He should have a job. He shouldn't be one of the unemployed.
But what job would
well,
you...
I'm going to tell you. He would have got...
Without people accusing you of
Derek,
cronyism.
I want to tell you. No, because Derek would have gotten the job that they gave to the schmuck they brought in from Florida. You see what I mean?
Thank you.
Instead of them bringing all these out-of-towners to work here
Right.
and live here, in actuality, a lot of them don't ever much stay here.
Yeah.
They come here and they don't spend much money here, and they leave and get the experience and get the hell out of here. That's
Yeah,
what Macon
right.
is for.
Yeah.
I would put the people that live here, the citizens that have been here for years, that were born here, that have put time in this place, they would get those jobs. Okay? I wouldn't be bringing in this guy from Florida, and this girl from Tallahassee, and this girl from Nebraska. I would be using locals first. locals that know the job, of course. I'm not going to put these incompetent people like the animal shelter has. They have a lot of incompetent people. And am I right in saying that Sarah Tenen from the animal shelter was brought from out of state?
Yes,
she?
Exactly. Actually, I got some stuff up that I want to read to you.
Well, let me ask your other one.
And give you.
Let's get to that in a minute, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll ask your second question. I was telling the job thing.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about some of the allegations that are out there that I sent to the sheriff to take a look into about the animal shelter, and I want to talk to you directly about that. And then, of course, I want to talk to you about your campaign. What are you going to do in terms of walking the streets, going to neighborhoods? We'll talk about that. What neighborhoods are you going to hit?
All of it.
And all of it. And are you willing to put out there a debate with the other candidates, which you've already done, but obviously they're not listening.
Yes. And I want you guys to put one together. Yeah, I think it'd be actually great for the show.
Well, I'm going to call Jack Ellis. I already have Joe Allen, but
I think you would get like 100 viewers that day if you guys actually promoted a big debate on this show, and you did it at nighttime. Y'all broadcast like at 6 in the p.m. And had a special morning roast debate episode. I guarantee you guys, because everybody would be home from work after 6. They wouldn't be going to work, and they would tune in, and I bet this show would get a lot of views.
Well, guess what?
A lot of
isn't this the irony is yesterday that when I was at Bibb County, the commissioners, and I addressed them, I met a guy named Lee who does a lot of activism in our community for like 35 years, and he knew about our show.
Awesome.
Except that he assumed something else, that I was all for the shelter, and I was like, no, you're wrong, I'm not. And Joe Allen knows this.
Yeah.
But there's other stuff I'm going to bring up. But let's
bring it up. You were bringing Sarah Tenen.
Okay, let's talk about that. The money for Tenen's SUV and the checks written for fixing all those animals could have went towards getting the pools open in certain areas of Bibb County. But people are going to have to be made aware of this. Many people do not care about the animals, but they get upset over their tax dollars. Now, that allegation is about Bibb County commissioners allowed Sarah Tenen to rehire a man, this is only one, to rehire a man who worked at the shelter at one time and had animal abuse charges brought against him, and he was forced to quit. There was witnesses to this man killing a puppy, but again, Layson, and that's the guy that's kind of is a chief facilitator or whatever, I don't know what it's, he's one of the commission. We tried the media and they did not do any good. The man was arrested and had to post bond, but quit to end it all. But he is now working there again. That is one. And then once again, he goes on to another one. That's almost like whatever. But this one is a biggie. Irving, many of the dogs that Sarah Tenen have fixed at Denard's, they were getting the animals fixed at a local hospital when they were supposed to be going to PetSmart. Were given an out-of-town rescue.
Interesting.
Who was very big with Tenen, and some of the fixed animals were euthanized. Why would Tenen have the dogs who had not yet been adopted be fixed? That's number one. This was a cover-up, but I'm not sure if it could be proved. There are also a number of dogs who have just disappeared from the animal shelter. Records have been gone over and they are not there. Wonder what happened to them. The citizens of Bibb County need to know, be told how the commissioners are using their money at the shelter. But I think the only way to do it is bring a civil suit. All right, now, what is she talking about here? She is talking about this. Here's a tip, but you did not get it from me. Ask about the cover-up of the vet bill for over $6,000 at Dr. Denard's. Wow. We had info that Tenen was taking the dogs to Denard and Gordon to get them fixed, and then she was going to use the PetMart grant to pay for the vet, but it was discovered that the shelter dogs or rescue dogs cannot be fixed under the PetSmart grant, which the shelter got. Tenen needed to get a number of dogs fixed up in order to keep the grant. An animal lover found out all about this and accidentally told one of the commissioners, and that's Joe Allen. And instead of him helping the animal lovers, the other commissioners were alerted, and Dr. Denard was paid with checks from 2 separate checking accounts. And this was swept under the rug. Taxpayer money was misused in my opinion, to cover up the shelter director had done. Just as about the Denard fiasco, which cost a lot of support for Mr. Allen from the animal lovers. You should also look into the minutes from the March and April meetings of the commissioners, and you will see the SUV they bought, the shelter director, was bought at a town dealership, which was not the lowest bidder. All right, so they're misusing the funds, obviously. What do you think about that kind of stuff? Will you confront
That's
that?
bull, yeah. Because that goes back to my earlier conversation with you guys about grants. Here we are again, another grant being given by a big corporation, PetSmart,
PetSmart.
right, to a city that is good at finagling and writing down grants and begging for money. Basically, is what you're doing. You're begging for money. You want to get rid of our homeless downtown, asking for a quarter, but yet you want to beg for billions of dollars on a grant.
Right.
Wow. What's the bullshit in that?
Well,
but anyway,
so
So
they
my
had
point,
to come up with the money somewhere.
right.
So they paid Dr.
That's
Denard $6,000 out of what fund? I'd like to know.
And I should find out about that because
I send it to the sheriff.
Well, as I told you,
I send these allegations already to the sheriff.
But Dr. Denard is close to me in a way because he is distantly related to Heather, my wife.
Wow.
We used to take our animals to Denard, and it's only through marriage that he's related.
Right.
But the thing about it is, I can maybe try to find out if that's true. I mean, I want to see copies of those checks that you said there were 2 canceled checks.
Well,
I think someone should find those in the public records, which we could look into that.
Right.
We can actually bring that up and look into that.
I think
let me
we
go
ought
Vorp says Vorpa by 2 says your city should not be involved with animal shelter when private organizations like PetSmart do a far superior job. And DS Photo Guy answers, why will all this unemployed would they ever hire this food? PetSmart isn't a shelter, Vorp.
That's right.
It's a pet store.
Right.
And
it's a national chain, Vorp.
That's the point.
And PetSmart doesn't have its own animals. Rescue organizations bring them for a couple of hours.
Right. Well, that's the thing, Photo Guy. That the taxpayers' money, basically, PetSmart gave a grant. Right. So that money belonged to us, the taxpayers.
So really, the only, and truth be told, the dogs and cats that are on PetSmart, like they said, like this Photo Guy said, you only see them during the weekends.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about where the money came from. The money was PetSmart's money. They gave it to us. And then what they did was she started sending it to other
Using
dogs.
it the way she's not supposed to.
Supposed to. It was supposed to go to PetSmart.
Which, if PetSmart catches wind of that, they could sue them.
Right.
They could sue the city.
Right.
They could sue the grant writer.
No kidding.
They could sue the shelter.
Because the dogs, because the dog, there's really
which goes back to my original complaint: is why the hell are you borrowing all this money from places?
Right. And then not following the protocol, and instead having to make up the stopgap by paying $6,000 out of some city money. Right. Obviously. In other words, they double dip.
Because that's why you don't see that many pet stores in Macon, because we know we have a serious pet population. That's why you don't see dogs and cats at PetSmart here in Macon. I mean, the only animals that you do see on PetSmart on a daily basis are basically little reptiles, little lizards, turtles, and
snakes occasionally.
Yeah, goldfish. Yeah,
rabbits.
Diaz is not understanding us because he keeps asking the same question.
All right, go Diaz.
Wasn't taxpayers' money going to be used to spay or neuter them? Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's what we were told.
But we were told that.
Right.
But the point is, it's not that they didn't use it, because they did. She had to make up a number of dogs to use that grant, so she wouldn't use it. But then they paid $6,000 extra out of some fund, other than the PetSmart spay neutering, that they were supposed to follow as protocol. Right. What happened was they double dipped. They reached out their hand and paid out of another fund that we're not made aware of.
Yeah.
And so the PetSmart grant, they got and used the PetSmart grant. Plus, they used another $6,000 to cover the mistake that she made, and that's what I'm saying.
Which would explain why they had like the dog lemon selling lemon dogs, I guess you might say.
The lemon law.
The lemon
cars.
Yeah, the lemon
you
law
make it for dogs.
You got it for dogs.
What's it smell like, Derek? What's this whole thing smell like?
A seafood platter.
Yeah, I wanted to hear that. I hadn't heard that in about 3 months.
Yes.
Yeah, and they got her an SUV.
Like a seafood platter.
And they got her an SUV, and that SUV was bought out of town. Right. Instead of like buying it here, we got all these car lots.
That's my point, Urban. That's why if I'm mayor, I'm getting rid of Tenon, an out-of-towner, I'm giving someone local the job that knows what the hell they're doing, like DS Photo Guy or Lacey, his beautiful woman. You know, you put a local person in that job, right? Mm-hmm. You've already cut your employment by one person, your unemployment. Now just magnify that by hundreds and thousands of people, because I guarantee there's a lot of damn people in this city working here that were just bussed here to work here. Mm-hmm. They weren't here 5 years ago. They weren't even here 2 years ago. They were hired from out of town.
What they do is they bust the homeless people out and they bust those people in.
And then everybody, and what happens? The rest of the city remains poor, unemployed, and can't get jobs because you're bringing in schmucks from Louisiana and everywhere else.
Okay. Speaking of which, I do have a question. Now, you said you wanted to get more people, more musical programs. Now, how will that be able to be possible when you have how will they not conflict with musical events like Bragg Jam or other entertainment venues like the Georgia State Fair, which they had to separate early in the year, like in May, and then the Georgia National Fair.
I think it's dead. I think the fair, not the Perry one. The Perry one's doing great. Yeah, the Georgia Fair is dead.
Well, I don't know. Why not make it interesting? Atlanta just put in a large Ferris wheel.
Yes.
And they're charging like $18.
But it's Atlanta.
It's ridiculous.
It's Atlanta.
No. Why not put a stationary Ferris wheel like they did in Coney Island and create a Coney Island
well, you could do that
in Macon, Georgia?
Old River Walk flea market thing. You could combine that with that.
Why not?
You could put rides at this flea market and make it a whole entertainment area / flea
and have these vendors go there on a permanent basis.
Right. But again, you don't have to go outside and hire a fair company from Nebraska that travels around the U.S.
Right.
Because then again, where's the money going? It's going to guys running fairs, collecting here, and leaving with the money. They're not spending the money here.
By the way,
they're making money here and they're leaving the fuck out of town.
Seaflux says there should be multiple musical events, including a fair, Bragg Jam, concerts, etc.
The Bragg Jam is fine. It's one day. But it's not enough for a city that has been born and bred on music and art. This city has more of a rich art history than almost every other city in the U.S.
Yes.
It pretty much does.
I know.
People don't realize that.
To Otis Redding.
People don't realize that. I'm talking directly. Everybody always brings Otis Redding up, but I'm talking about Little Richard. Little Richard was born here. Otis wasn't born here. He just moved here at a young age. Mm-hmm. I always bring up Little Richard first because not only is Little Richard the architect, he's above Otis to me.
What about expanding Bragg Jam? What about extending Bragg Jam?
That's great if you want to do that and make that a 10-day thing, but you still have to bring bigger acts in than you bring. Bragg Jam still doesn't bring in really big acts. They bring in a few semi-big ones, but if you ever look at their headliner, it's always somebody that's like the Dirty Governors who is from South Carolina.
We're at 10:58. We got to keep going here. Okay. Who will buy the tickets if they are underpaid and underemployed? Who will buy the ticket if this city is filled with unemployment?
It's not. You start working on unemployment by what I said. You quit hiring out-of-towners. Mm-hmm. You put locals in. You employ them in their jobs. You give Ed a job. You give Irvin a job. You give Derek a job. Mm-hmm. All local people, right? You give those people the jobs. You get rid of the ones you bus in from other cities and states that are doing horribly, like Dalaman, like Tenet.
Wouldn't you have to work with other promoters to get big shows?
Yes, but what you do, here's my plan. That's part of why I take a lot of the money out also from people's pay, the people that are getting overpaid, from the mayor's pay, from the county commissioner's pay. Mm-hmm. You use that money that you're saving there to then bring in these big acts that should be coming here. And then once you get the acts here, of course, you're going to charge a fee. Yeah. But when you have a big act here, you don't only bring...
Like Elton John earlier this year?
Exactly. You don't only bring locals, you bring out-of-towners, and you have those out-of-towners do what they should be doing to begin with, which is bringing their money to us, leaving it here, and leaving town.
Right. Well,
that's what they should do. They shouldn't be coming here, getting our money, and leaving.
Right.
They should be coming here to spend money, and they would. If you brought like AC/DC to Macon, you would have people travel from fucking Texas to see him in Macon, Georgia. You would have people travel from
the UK.
Yes, to come see AC/DC. And you know how much money we would make? Now multiply that with every other big band. Multiply that with bringing like Little Richard here again. He's old as hell, but he's still out there.
And he's in a wheelchair.
Well, but you know,
He's
he's sitting
80
at the
now.
piano. But I mean, what I'm saying is, you bring the big money people like Elton John, which made a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
All right. Well,
Yes, I do have another-
Vorpabai says that
Okay.
you're going to turn a city into a circus. What do you say to that?
Let's have fun. It's the
Okay.
Music City. I mean, it's not a circus. I just think it's common sense. I mean, I really think that if your city is based in a foundation of something, why the hell are you putting concrete over it and trying to hide it? Why are you sweeping it under the rug? And it seems to me that as much as, and Irvin always says it correctly, as much as they want to live off of dead people in the music industry, why don't you live off the living people in the music industry? People like AC/DC from Australia, who, I'm reading this book, who throughout this book at the beginning, they mentioned Little Richard about 12 times. How these guys were influenced by Little Richard. How their first music they got was Little Richard all the way in Australia, okay? This band was formed thanks to Little Richard from Macon, Georgia, okay? You know how many other bands in the world are like that are influenced by Little Richard?
You said Sid Vicious and
I mean, everybody was Sid Vicious, but every band just about is influenced by Little Richard.
Now
you say, let me market it. Well, let me get this first. So you market it to those artists like that. You say, look, I know how much you love Little Richard. You owe your career to Little Richard. Why don't you come play in the home of Little Richard? We will treat you like kings.
They may do that once he's dead.
No, I think they should do it now. And
They should do it now.
And when,
I know they should.
And when you're the mayor approaching these people, it holds a hell of a lot more water. It's not just you or me now going, hey, can I speak to the manager of AC/DC? Come Macon, please. If you're the mayor doing it and you go, look, I'm the mayor of Macon. I know that your history shows that you are heavily influenced by what we gave you in Macon, Georgia, Little Richard, and that our town deserves to see you guys play here. You deserve in return to pay respect to who made your career.
Yes.
I say we'll treat you like kings, we'll treat you good, and you will have the turnout from hell.
Okay, very good.
Turnout from
okay,
hell.
2 comments. How much money, this is one, and you can answer them separately. How much money does an AC/DC concert leave behind? That's one. And the other one from Tubby Dude, that was Seafluck, by the way.
He's got
and
good questions.
Tubby Dude says, Nashville is full of corruption. Don't build your economy on musicians. Not a stable bunch.
Okay.
All right, that's a
point.
comment,
That's a
and
good
there's a
point.
question. The question is, how much money would you want AC/DC concert to leave behind?
Oh, it's not what I want.
I mean, what's the percent?
I know it would. I know what it would leave behind. I guarantee this city would at least make 300% profit.
All right,
if
how
a
much
band
money?
like AC/DC
How much money?
came
3
here.
million, $1 million, 2 million?
If AC/DC
into the
came
local
here.
economy?
Well, I think at least that.
Okay.
That's a small number because I'm telling you, they sell out. Bands like AC/DC sell out huge stadiums worldwide. They're playing to literally millions of people in some of these countries. I mean, there are just massive audiences. Okay, you're going to bring in people from out of town to this show. The ticket sales, you're going to sell the tickets like that. I guarantee the show sells out. I guarantee it sells out immediately.
And the standing room only. I mean, just to add.
So you're getting the ticket sales profit. I know the band gets a lot of the money, but of course, taking some of the city's employed money will pay for that, and my own money as mayor. But you're also then making money on revenue of drinks being sold at this show, concerts being sold, food being sold.
Yeah,
at these
300%
concessions.
of what? So break that down.
Well,
You just started.
let's say if you put, I'm gonna give a roundabout number. Let's say the city spent, let's say they spent a total of $500,000 to bring a band like AC/DC.
$500,000.
Okay, let's say that. I'm giving a roundabout number.
That's a big number.
It is, but I'm making it big because I'm going to show you.
$400.
No, because I'm giving you that big number because I'm going to show you
$4,000.
that a band like that would easily bring in 3 times that money.
He's right.
They
Just
would.
just for
if
t-shirts,
you spent
t-shirts,
$500,000
alcohol, and cash.
on a big band, and I'm talking top-notch band that brings in lots of audience, you would easily make 3 times that. Easily.
Wow.
I really believe that.
Tubby Dude says Valdosta has Wild Adventures, which brings in bands every weekend. They have not done well, and I don't think the city has benefited.
But you know what's wrong, Tubby Dude? You're again talking about Valdosta. Valdosta's not making. And I'm not saying that to badmouth Valdosta. Valdosta does not have the history of music that Macon has.
That's very true.
I mean, Macon has a history that Valdosta doesn't have.
Did even Valdosta exist when Macon was born?
I'm sure not.
I don't think so.
1823 is Macon's
that sounds
birth.
like Shaniqua, a name that came
I
up
mean, it
recently.
is. That's funny. But my point is and the bands, I guarantee some of these bands don't even realize that their heroes are from Macon, Georgia.
Right.
Especially bands that are foreigners from another side of the country or world.
Does it have a racetrack, by the way?
Who?
Macon.
It used to.
It used to. But it's now, there's one nearby, though.
But
it's more like a drag race.
Yeah, YO sometimes goes to that drag race.
By the way, Macon could do monthly shows, and then he said Valdosta is too far from the big cities, which were weekly shows, right?
Right.
And then he says, are you going to build a quality venue? Would you consider that?
Yeah, but I think I have more faith in the venues we already have. I don't think the venues we have are as bad as people say they are.
Right, they're not.
I think they need a little work on their acoustics. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to tear a whole building down and rebuild just to fix your acoustics.
Yeah. Well,
you can do some other minor.
Yeah, they need
work.
to do that to City Hall and.
I mean,
to
there's
the county
certain
commission.
things. You're right.
Terrible
The acoustics aren't great everywhere. But now I don't think the auditorium has bad acoustics. I think the City Auditorium has pretty good acoustics.
Yes.
Now the Coliseum / Centerplex, that needs some work on its acoustics.
Oh, yes.
Right.
What about the Grand Opera House?
Grand Opera House has good acoustics.
Okay.
Capitol needs a little work on the acoustics. Mm-hmm. But there's already venues to put people like this in. I do think so.
Okay.
It's just we have to put a little bit into that money into those venues.
Okay,
to make
now let's move on to the next.
For a cross reference of having entertainment, and you also music and getting AC/DC, like say they did a live concert and someone filmed it.
That's right.
Live movies do well. And
Documentaries.
Documentaries.
Live movie,
matter of fact, since you are an actor by trade, I guess to an extent, how could we be able to get not only music venues but also getting more films filmed here in Macon, since Georgia is, like I said, is just behind New York and California
Right.
for us. And since I was traveling to North Carolina to do a commercial over there, I mean, North Carolina's actually is kind of gaining. It's not nearly as getting as much as work as Georgia, but it's definitely get there. As I just recently checked out that they have North Carolina has a 25% refundable tax credit film incentive for those who film in North Carolina.
Right.
And they do have like a project per capita. They have a $20 million TV series cap for those who want to film their TV shows, sitcoms or drama, what have you. How do you do to get more movies and television shows, not just reality TV, but actually like shows to be film projects to get filmed here? I mean, I said there have been many.
That's a good point.
Many buildings that are abandoned that could be done for studios. Tyler Perry has a studio.
Right.
I mean, the place across the street from the Macon Mall, like the Circuit City building. Many places in the old Westgate, well, it used to be a mall. They only have 2 stores, active stores there. I mean, the old Westgate 6 building, the old Media Play, Home Depot, old PetSmart buildings that are still empty, and even the old Walmart building that is very empty.
Empty. Well,
what to do?
Well, again, it goes back to employing local and also showing out-of-towners what local has to offer. Look, we have to have. It's not bad to have a healthy ego, people. It's not bad to be egotistical in a way. We have to be more egotistical about ourselves and our city. We have to be more prideful about it.
Right.
We have to be more kind of assured and back what we do as people. And that's another problem is when these movies come here, it's great, but what do? They pay a lot of people that leave the hell out of town about a week later that don't spend their money here. And that's fine. You're going to have some of those people come in on a big movie. You're going to have big actors that aren't from here. But I do believe you need to start infusing into those movies and into that workforce on those movies. You need to infuse the locals in that position, in those positions. And I think what you do is part of the ego and part of showing we have a great city is I think it's okay maybe too when you know there's a movie showing interest to film here. Maybe get some casting.
Well, wait a minute. There's 2 questions that ought to be answered
but
on
I'm
the
answering
subject.
the first one.
No, but it's in relation to what it is. No. This is another point. Changing the subject. Why so many tax cutters for films and big box office stores? And then he's saying training for locals may be needed for some of these plans. Any plans on working with tech colleges, etc., to develop a skilled labor force for entertainment?
That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Is that you bring people, but what I was saying is you bring these casting directors into this town beforehand. They're already coming here months before to look at the scenery to see if they want to film here. We know that. It happens all the time. They scope it out. Well, why aren't they also then scoping out our local theaters, watching our local actors, seeing who can act around here, scoping our other businesses, our local maybe places that do good screen print or something,
or fashion designers, stunt people,
anything,
makeup people,
scoping out the locals for those jobs, and then going back to the producers of these movies, going, you know what, we can do pretty well by hiring these people in this city that we're filming in, not pay them as much as we would probably have to pay the ones we bring from California,
in New York,
but pay them well still here. You keep the employment rate going up with locals who are going to spend their money here after the movie leaves, after it's filmed. And then also, you're pressing Macon to other people, because then you have more Macon artists that are getting out to the world through this movie,
who don't have to go, who don't have to commute to LA, to New York, to North Carolina, South Carolina, and Miami, and
I mean,
like I had to do.
Imagine Irvin. Imagine, let's say, hypothetical, you're making an Otis Redding movie. Let's say they want to make an Otis Redding movie here. They're looking into places, okay? Start hunting for your local actors here. I'm cool with you getting a main big star for Otis from Hollywood, okay? I understand that. But when you want to start hiring people like the guy to play Alan Walden, or the guy to play Phil Walden, or the other underground people that were around them, maybe look locally. Maybe
hire Alan Walden.
Well, he's too old to act in anything.
To play himself, maybe
But the thing about it is, hire locally. Get people that are good, because there are good actors around here. I've seen some better actors in this area than I have on the damn TV screen and the movie screens.
Yeah.
I mean, I have. And the thing about it is, hire locally, and then not only are you selling Macon to the world through the movie itself about Otis Redding, you're selling the actors to the world. This movie gets played in Germany. It gets played in England. And next thing you know, maybe somebody sees Derek Barrett, who's got a featured role in it as somebody, and they go, that guy was a pretty goddamn good actor. Who is he? They look him up. They call him up. They get his agent, and they give him more work in a film.
All right, now.
And we got Macon's own Derek Barrett.
We got to move on with a different subject.
Awards.
We got to move on. We definitely.
I know.
I'm all fired up about the way.
Forever.
But let's talk about some of the mundane shit that goes on.
Let's
here.
do it.
Let's talk a little bit about how are you going to help support some of the programs, or are you looking into supporting programs for inner city youth that is going to help garner relationships, so we don't have like this Trayvon Martin thing and all of that with our local police, or even with each other? How are you going to help out in that aspect in our community, dealing with the locals, both the inner city, the people in Bibb County, which are a totally different horse of a different color, and the racial issues that are in our city? How are you going to deal with that?
That's exactly what some of these programs I brought up and others I'm about to bring up are for. It kills two birds with one stone. Again, you're never going to stop crime completely. We know that. No city is crime-free anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you've got a population of 15 in Alabama or something.
Yeah, unless it's Vatican City.
Okay. No, there's a lot of crime going on at Vatican City, believe me. Okay. A lot of molestation going on there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, my point is that some of these programs I brought up, the community gardens, you get locals in those communities involved in those. It gives them something to do instead of sitting on the street getting into trouble. It gives them something to work for. It shows them how to nurture.
Would you work with guys like? Would you work with?
I work with
anyone?
Anybody.
Exactly. That's
I
I think you need to re-emphasize.
And it doesn't mean.
Who would you work with? Who were some of the guys that you're thinking right now without dropping names left and right?
You mean that I would hire as part of my
not
staff?
Even hire, just work with.
Oh, I'd work with anybody willing to help. I would even work with those I'm the most critical against.
Right.
If they're willing to get out and do the work. Now, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to badmouth you to hell and back. If your ass is sitting in your house up there on the hill in North Macon all week, and you don't want to come out and help clean up the community with us, or you don't want to come out and help do something in this side of the city, then I'm going to call you out on it. Because I think everybody should put forth an effort. I don't mean you have to go out there every weekend, but I think there's enough people in this city that can get together and pick a weekend to go volunteer, help clean up a neighborhood, meet people in those neighborhoods, get them to meet each other. And, I'm not a kumbaya guy, but the thing about it is if you can just be basically on a basic friend level with people and quit having this I'm higher than you and I'm more important than you attitude around here, I think they would respect you more and they would respect the city more. A lot of the problems in these inner cities, I think, also stem, and I'm not going to say it's only that, but I think it does stem from the resentment they have towards some of these people that are padding their pockets through grant money, like the PetSmart thing you just talked about, and all these other people that are sitting there padding their pockets and have no respect for people on this side of town, 247, East Macon, West Macon. They don't give a shit about those people. Yeah. And I think if we can bring respect to each other by just being around each other, that's why this thing tomorrow is going to be good, this Thursday community forum.
I'm excited.
But I'm telling you right now, it's not a political thing. I'm not making it political, but I am wearing my Remove Rickard shirt. I'm telling them right now, because my Remove Rickard Fire Sutton shirt, that has anything to do with me running against them. I want all the other candidates to be removed, not just Rickard. I want to beat all of them. But I'm wearing that still to represent that he has not handled the Sammy Davis Jr. case right. And since the forum is about race relations and racism, that's a very poignant shirt to wear tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought I'm wearing Justice for Two.
Well, I know some people are going to look at me and go, this isn't a political event. I'm going to say, well, I'm not wearing this because of politics. I'm not saying remove Rickard because I'm going against him as mayor. I think his ass should be gone because he's a horrible mayor. Period. Period. Because if I was going against all the politicians running against me, I would have a shirt that says, no Cousineau, no Allen, no Bishop, no Rickard, no Ellis.
I am all.
Yes, I don't have that. So my point is that part of building a community is the community garden. The thing I said about earlier, the flea market, bringing people from all parts of the city at this flea market at the river, making money, learning to be self-sufficient without the government taking your money back.
Now, what about the people in government? You're going to have to work with commissioners.
Yes.
You're going to have to work with
which I was hoping
sheriff.
you'd be one of them.
And
it'd be great if we were both one and we were working together.
Well, we'll get there.
But I might hire you, Irvin, if I win. I'll hire Derek too.
I'll volunteer.
Okay.
But you can hire me in Vision and don't pay me up. I don't want my disability check to be screwed up.
Okay.
Or hire me for 9 weeks. I think that's the limit.
Go, Irv. What
All right. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the commissioners and how they operate. Obviously, you're going to be dealing with some of these guys.
Yeah.
And of course, as the relationships in those, let's say, community political body goes, making go. So how are you going to bring all those people together when you are basically known in this community as being somewhat divisive and strong-headed? Yeah.
Me?
No, I mean, me too, but, me? I'm finding my ground.
I'm being divisive?
Well, some people will accuse you of that.
What? This guy? This guy being divisive? No. This guy right here in this pink jacket?
I gotta see that. Hold it. Can I see it?
Yeah, that guy.
Bring that out.
That guy?
Bring that out. The guy in the pink jacket.
I like this one. Here's me looking at one of them saying something to him.
Unbelievable.
You talking to me?
You're not kind.
You talking to me? This is a good one.
Oh my God.
Look at me.
Look at that.
Look at him all around me. Call the cops on this
got
guy.
2 cops.
Look at Rickard in the background. Look at Rickard. Look at Rickard right there.
He's not
You're
kind.
not kind. You're not kind. All right.
And he beat the rap.
I brought these to promote myself doing that.
Thank you.
Anyway, these are Craig Burkhalter took these and gave me these copies for free. I appreciate it. I want to say a shout out to the artist Craig Burkhalter, who also did
I like
this.
that other one. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, Irvin, he did this artwork. Craig Burkhalter took these pictures, did this.
Oh, really?
He gave me all the shots he took on the disc.
Oh,
I didn't have to pay for it.
Make sure
So I got a lot of them.
DS the guy says you should have run for it, and he also asked, "Are you gonna get rid of abolish the silly seatbelt law?"
Yeah,
maybe a joke.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I got that on here. What I'm gonna do, and of course that's gonna have to go national. That's a national law.
Right,
that has nothing to. But what I'm gonna put in, and they're gonna think I'm crazy if I'm mayor because I'm gonna be sending all these requests to the big city honchos, head honchos in the big state. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to basically break the police force down. They're gonna have a talking from me every week or two, maybe probably twice a week, like I said Rickard should have done. Line them up in front of them every week or so, right before they go out on duty in the morning. But I'm going to say, look, you're here for one thing. Under 2 words: protect and serve. You're basically here to stop those that are butting in on the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of others. That's all you're here for. You're here to stop the burglar, the rapist, the murderer, the ones who's making someone do something that they wish not to do.
Yeah.
Or harming someone. That's all you're here for. You're not here to pull people over because they don't have a seatbelt on. You're not here to pull someone over because they fucking went 5 miles over the speed limit. You're not here to pull someone over if they have one back headlight out or back light out. We're not worried about shit like that, okay? I know it sounds ridiculous to some, but think about it. If you think about it, it causes no injury to anybody.
Well,
except
seatbelt saves lives. I mean, some
but
people
they can also not
have
save
died
lives.
because they didn't have a seatbelt.
But have people died because they did wear their seatbelt?
Well, that's
I'm
when
sure.
the car's crushed by a truck.
I'm sure because people did not get out because their seatbelt was stuck or because they were not thrown from a car,
Well,
which they
I
would have
want to
survived.
give you some kudos.
That's
You
why.
some kudos.
Okay.
From Vorpalbite.
Okay.
What do you think of that one?
Well, that's
he said,
surprising.
who would have figured that Anthony Harris would bring to chat room racial harmony? It's like a miracle. It's so hard to believe.
An
By the
online
way,
miracle.
thank you still lazy, too lazy
Hey,
to
where's
sign
that
up.
Daily Bread music?
Great to have you. Thank you for coming.
Well, I'm here running, and really, I said it at the beginning. This isn't a joke. Vorpal, I think you said it was a circus. I mean, it's not. I think politics are a joke, and I think a lot of it is circusy.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm not
Bunch
bringing
of clowns that we
exactly.
vote in.
But I'm not bringing in. I'm not bringing in politics. I'm bringing in reality and the common guy.
Reality TV.
Trying to take politics out of it.
Yeah, this stuff is
And
better than Kim Kardashian.
I'm slowly trying to infuse anarchy into a system in a little different way. Because if we don't do it this way, all you're going to have is the crazy guy on the side of the road with a big full beard and holding a sign screaming, "The government sucks, down with the government." And those people
yeah, the
will
end of the world is near.
Yeah, and those people will never get anywhere because at this point everybody knows they're just that fixture on the side of the road that's
Yeah.
going to holler shit but not do anything. I'm now going to try to do something. I've already done the hollering stuff a lot.
You got
Now I'm
Vorpalbite voting
Now
on
I'm going
you.
to get in and try to work it within the system, and then from within eat away.
Well,
Eat away at the government, the corrupt government.
So,
that's my move.
Couple more questions because we're almost at 11:30.
I would love to stay till 2. It's like, screw you. Ed's giving me that
Union
eat
rules,
shit.
we're already overtime.
Hey, all I gotta
Remember.
do is keep the camera going and go sleep, and we'll be all right.
We won't sleep with
we
you
won't
guys.
take any breaks.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
see
not.
what this
We-
ruckus going on.
But
Irvin, Derek, can I bring up something else real quick?
Yeah, come on.
I didn't bring up. I want to do this too
Ed.
because no one's brought this up yet, and this is important.
Well,
it's up to you guys.
let's do up to 12 o'clock.
If you
We'll
want
do
to
it.
stop, tell me.
We'll stop
I don't
at
mean to
12
hold you
o'clock.
guys over.
But
Have
we
a
are
good
going to take a break because
I appreciate the time.
I have to pee.
I appreciate the roast giving me
Okay.
time, free of charge. You know, if I go anywhere else, they want to charge me to be on their show.
Yes.
The roast is
And
only
anybody
charging me
wants to go,
now
you
and
can
now.
go. But hopefully you stick around. We got another half an hour to go.
Yes,
37 minutes to be
Yes,
exact.
37
minutes.
Yeah, just want to, while I'm here, I want to give a nice shout out to Tyler Blunt, my cousin, whose video that we played, introduced by my cousin Carlton Dickerson. He used to go to Georgia Southern.
Is he here?
You know, no, he's in Sydney, Australia.
Oh.
He's like a 15-hour difference. But
Let's not hire him to work here. He'll take the money back to Australia.
I know that's one heck of a commute.
Feed their economy, like.
Yeah, but just want to say shout out because I hope she has a very good career as a country singer.
That was when
In
you showed
Australia?
earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that right when I was leaving out to take Heather to work.
Sounded
I
good,
saw
right?
the girl. I
Mhm.
didn't hear much of the song, but she was attractive.
Yeah.
I saw her picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was a hell of a lot better looking than Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Okay.
She had better hooters than
keep
he had
sending
hooters.
those PayPal and I'll
I don't
send
know
you
about her
shows.
blowfish, though.
Yeah.
Your future mayor. He's got a potty mouth.
Anyway, Ed, we got anything? We can go on break for 5 minutes. Come back.
Working the timing, sir.
All right. Let's
Well, I
do
want to
that.
talk. I want to say one of my things I want to do about education.
Right,
About
we'll
education.
talk about that when we come back because that's going to be, I'm sure you're going to educate
Yeah, I
people.
was- yeah.
That's not a 5-minute quick.
Well, I'm just going to
Yeah,
get my
I hope
plan
we have the
first.
video that I can send with Roscoe Mathur from Wild and Out.
Yeah.
Man, that's copyright.
Sent to me an hour ago, dude.
Where's Kuzno and Allen? I thought they were going to be here.
No. I couldn't get a hold of Kuz.
I know Kuzno would come. Kuzno does. I give Kuzno a lot of
Allen
credit.
comes with food.
Kuzno's the only other good guy running for office, for mayor.
There you go. So you're not as offended by Ed's wearing his shirt.
No, well, Kuzno, because Kuzno, I agree on a lot, what I don't agree on Kuzno about is main thing is he keeps screaming. He's a guy to scream all this separation of church and state, but he sure as hell wants to bring the church into city politics all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like Joe Allen. And that's the problem I have with Kuzno's platform. One of them is you look at his shirt. What does Kuzno's shirt say at the bottom?
I don't know. We'll figure out.
Yeah,
It's got some
God I
religious
trust
yeah.
and faith
okay,
I
it's
serve.
like Kuzno. It's like, come on, Kuzno. If you're for separation of church and state or whatever, then
stop
I wouldn't-
bringing it up.
I wouldn't throw that stuff all over you running for office.
You know what? Some people, we were in the Bible Belt, Dan.
I know.
Not
but-
everybody's an anarchist.
No, I don't think they have
Especially
to see that.
here.
I'm only explaining to you why one of the faults I have with Kuzno.
Right.
Other than that, I agree with a lot of Kuzno. I agree with Kuzno about gambling, bringing casinos.
You
here.
definitely agree with the Indian.
Yeah, we agree on that. Oh, I'm talking for nothing. Okay.
All right, we're gonna be back. Don't go. Don't touch that dial.
Don't
Well, the coroner's office just
touch yourself.
The coroner's office just
Or
released new information regarding Corey Monteith's cause of death. An autopsy and toxicology testing concluded that the Glee star died
Here's
of
the
a
part where I
lethal
say something I
combination
shouldn't while the
involving
mic is still
heroin
on,
and
and then you guys
alcohol.
hold it against me,
Monteith's
and then I
body
get
was
all in
found in
trouble
his
with the
hotel
media
room,
and
I
the
remember, in
media, 'cause I'm a
Vancouver on Saturday
candidate.
afternoon.
Here's the part
That
where
was
I say
after
over
he
the
failed
mic.
to check out on time.
to help
Video
your
surveillance
campaign.
shows
But
the
right now
actor
when
was
the
going
show's
out
off,
with
here's what
friends
I
the
don't
night
know that
before,
the
but
mic's
came
on
back
and
to
I
that
say
hotel
something
room
stupid.
alone. Now, in
You know,
previous
yeah,
interviews,
got
the
some crackers?
31-year-old actor had described himself as an out of
You know, I just finished reading that book by
drugs and
Joseph
alcohol,
Conrad.
that he would often skip school to drink and also smoke pot
might,
when he was just 13 years old. But bottom line, his standards were really a far cry from the character that he often portrayed on screen. And Wolf, it's important to point out at this point that he has been relatively open about his struggle. In fact, it was just this past spring that he checked himself into rehab. Now, Monteith's family has been notified as to the cause of death. The coroner's office is saying at this point that there is nothing to suggest this is anything other, Wolf, than a very tragic accident.
Whose voice do you think it was in the 911 call?
I think it was George Zimmerman's.
It's fun, guys.
Did everybody in the jury agree with that?
All but probably one.
And what made you think it was George Zimmerman's voice?
Because of the evidence that he was the one that had gotten beaten.
So you think because he was the one who had cuts, had abrasions, he was the one getting hit, he was the one calling for help?
Well, because the witnesses of John Good saw Trayvon on top of George, not necessarily hitting him because it was so dark he couldn't see, but he saw blows down towards George, and he could tell that it was George Zimmerman on the bottom. He didn't know who it was, but he knew what they were wearing.
If there's anyone out there that has never said something that they wish they could tell so hard in my head that it kills me, please. So hard in my head that it kills me, please. So hard in my head that it kills me, please. So hard in my head that it kills me, please.
You made it? That should be.
A 7-year-old boy named Dexter really wants to be an astronaut, and he has NASA's full support in writing. Hey, I'm Jillian on Buzz60. This is a letter that Dexter's mom posted on Reddit. It reads, Dear NASA, my name is Dexter. I heard that you were sending 2 people to Mars, and I would like to...
Prepare to go to the next level.
The earth falling.
Who knows what Irvin's doing? Hope not.
You guys.
I wanted to bring the spunk to the show, but I didn't want to bring Irvin's spunk.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we are back. We're in extra innings, you might say, into the morning roast live from the Nut House / Doghouse with yours truly, DB and Ed. Earl's just coming out, and we're here with former host turned mayoral candidate Anthony B. Harris here.
Yes.
Yes, and his run
And I'm
for
around
mayor.
here somewhere. I'll
Yes.
be back.
I like
Why
the
don't
hat.
you guys have some old-time memories of your old show?
Let's talk about wrestling, Irvin. Derek.
Yeah.
I'm just
Actually, WWE is going to be on.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
WWE, brother.
Downtown.
Yes, it's
You
gonna
going?
be. Yeah, it's gonna be at the Macon Coliseum. If I get enough money to get a ticket, yeah, it's gonna be the.
Not a chance in hell he's going to get enough money.
Yeah, it's
It's
July 27th. That's going to be 10 days from today at the Macon Coliseum. The tickets range from $15 to $95 each, depending on where you get. No more than that. I'll probably be in the nosebleed section, like right like I'm back against it. Well, that's what they
Have
call
you
it.
been to band camps?
No, I haven't been to band. I couldn't afford band camp. I
You don't
wasn't
care,
in the
Derek.
band.
As long as you're there to see those sweaty men in tights, you just want to be there, even if you're in the nose.
Does that picture excite you?
No, if you mean excited, it makes you want to vomit, then.
Derek, you want to snap into a Slim
Urban and
Jim?
this banana hammock.
Yeah.
It's a banana hammock.
Chiquita banana.
Banana
Urban
hammock.
looked funny as hell wearing that at Lake Tobesofsky.
Looks like a boat. Oh, we're talking about my wonderful pick.
So, guys, with education, here's an idea I got for education.
Yes.
I want to, first of all, we have to set a limit of students in each school around the city. Okay? A lot of schools have overcrowding. And to me, overcrowding then makes for inadequate teaching.
And stress.
Because you got a teacher that's trying to teach too many kids at one time.
And they can't do it.
So what you got to do is you have to take every school in this city, and of course I'm talking public, because
They don't have enough brain power to do that.
entity, and you have to set a limit of students that can go to those schools.
Yeah.
Now, in some of the schools, of course, you're going to have a lower enrollment, and your enrollment's not going to reach the limit. So in those cases, that's where you then allow, through lottery, students from other parts of the city to go to that school.
Wow.
Right?
Who's going to run that?
It's very easy to run. Once you got them, once you have them all
Georgia
registered. Once you have them all. No, not the lottery, not the Georgia lottery. A lottery to where people sign up to try to get their kid in a certain school because it's a school
infighting.
that's
Because then,
that doesn't
if
matter.
you don't
That's,
pick and choose according to their standard,
no,
they're
it's
gonna
first
call
come,
you
first
racist.
serve. A list doesn't lie. When you call and you put in you put in
I'm
the
just
request.
saying, how would you avoid that?
Well, you don't avoid it. You just keep good records. You keep good records. So then first part of that is you keep your schools at a level of reasonable enrollment to where a teacher can really work with those kids and give them a good education, okay? The next thing with the teachers is, and this is not, they don't even do this now, and I don't know why, but before every school year, it's mandatory, and I don't like the word mandatory, but if you're going to teach our kids, you better be a damn good teacher and know what you're doing. Again, it goes back to knowing your job, knowing how to do your job.
Oh, yeah.
But our teachers then need to every year be tested on their abilities and capabilities.
Right.
Before
they're
the,
retaining.
before the school year. I don't like this like every 3 years, every 5 years, no bull crap. Because then you have a student, then you have a teacher in there that's gone 4 years of teaching that hasn't known what the hell she's teaching because she hasn't been tested and kept up with.
Right.
I had a 6th grade teacher of social studies and who should have been retired long before I got to her grade.
Right.
She was
still
out
teach
there.
with that those little things that they use.
Abacus.
Yeah, an abacus.
That or you're playing pool in the pool hall.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
but that's kind of
when they get older, they become like babysitters, and that's what I don't want.
Yes.
I want people that are professional and they are there with an aim to teach these kids, not just be a babysitter.
Well, and it goes back,
glorified.
right? And it goes back to those people doing their job as well.
Yeah, Rosalind said all kids need these days is a good ass one, but you got to be careful because some of these kids are so bad they just starting to arrest them and stuff. I mean, or tase them.
Well, and Rosalind, all kids need these days is a good ass whooping. I think
agree
so.
with that. No, I agree with that,
But
Rosalind.
here's the thing. Yeah, try it. Some of these kids are like gang members. You try whipping their ass, they're gonna kill that.
I don't
teacher.
care, man. I've seen some mean ass. Don't fuck with grandmothers and grandfathers, man.
Yeah, you
I'll
have
tell
to
you
get
what,
like
even the biggest
tough son of a bitch.
even
to
the
be your
biggest
teacher.
giant that hangs out on the corner all night. Even the biggest giant can be brought down by an old ass woman with a cane. That's your grandmother. Because I tell you what, these people might be big and bad, but I guarantee when they get around their elders, their family elders, They all said show
they all
lots
shot.
of respect.
Yeah.
You know they did. You know they
the
did.
mothers beat the shit out of them.
And that's why I agree with Rosalind. That needs to start at home. We already know that. It needs to start at home.
All right, people love results. More is what we've been seeing across the board, thanks to Obama's policies and even to Republicans, have cock-blocked him at every turn.
Who's that, Diaz?
That's Diaz. He's talking about Obama, and that overall affects all of us. I mean, look at what's happening with the Democratic Party here in Macon, Georgia.
Well, yeah. That's
I mean,
well, what do you feel about that? You're a Democrat.
They can't. It's all.
Are you about to abandon the?
I wouldn't abandon the party, but certainly the party is stagnant.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cronyism.
Yeah.
And a lot of old ideas. I mean,
they're
it's
basically
way
becoming.
behind
They're
Obama.
becoming what they rail against.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's way behind Obama even.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and even still, I'm still kind of ticked off with what Geraldo Rivera and Jeanine Pirro, former Judge Pirro, on their show on Fox News. They tried to indirectly blame the racial unrest on the president. Well, he shouldn't have said that. Well, if I had a son, I have daughters. If I had a son, he probably would look like Trayvon. I mean, come on, he's a half-black guy.
When you look at Trayvon, he kind of looks a little bit like Obama.
I mean, he's a half-black man that living in the White House. I mean, what do you expect his son's supposed to look like? What, Prince Harry? I mean, come on. I mean, geez.
May I, guys, for a moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Part of being a write-in is you have to put an ad in the paper. I'm going to go ahead and show you on the show my ad in the paper that happened. It was back.
There you go.
It was
Go
back
all
in
the way,
July
baby.
12th paper. You know? So there's my ad right there. Being a write-in is very simple. You got to put an ad in the paper at least 7 days before the qualifying.
Right.
You have to fill out a one-page form saying that you're a candidate, and then you have to fill out 3 forms that go to the ethics committee, and then you go online. And
It looks great in the paper.
So there's my ad.
It's like a tattoo.
Yeah, it's kind of like a variation of the sign.
Yeah, very nice.
But there's my ad back. That was back in Friday, July 12th paper. All right.
How about that?
That's a nice looking ad.
Thank you.
By the way, we should have had the sign up, no?
That's all right. There'll be more of them. I'm about to go.
He's got a colorful sign.
I'm about to go. Well, they've seen them online. If you go online and Facebook, you'll see them. I've been sharing it everywhere. I'll bring it on next time I come on, if I can come on. But
anyway.
I was going to pick up some more signs today and go put some out around town. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're running.
I thank you. Oh yeah, I don't need this anymore. Here's the file. Here's the filing if you wanted to do by the pauper. If you wanted to run as a pauper, I can throw that away. That's not happening.
Anyway, and so.
Well, what I mean, guys, let me ask you guys. Let me already act like a mayor.
Yeah.
Let me act concerned with you guys.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
What do you guys want to see change? I want to know what the people are saying.
I
know one of your problems is animal shelter. What else?
Not only that. I mean, I think it's bigger than that.
Right.
It's more about the humans here. I need a person who's willing to stand up and confront these people. Now, mind you, Joe Allen got lambasted and blasted, according to the Telegraph.
Well, why didn't he stand up for himself?
I mean...
How did he act at the meeting yesterday? You went.
He sat there and kind of was...
Coward? Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Joe Allen, you're fighting for the animals. I would have been like a pit bull. I would have just bit back at those guys.
He did. I mean, he showed it on film.
I would have verbally spit back at those guys.
But he was sitting there, quietly, and of course everybody was just listening to me. And I thanked him in public, and I thanked him twice. And then I looked at Sam Hart, and I said, some people are my friends on Facebook, and I'm looking right at him. And I'm saying they didn't even acknowledge or even send me a note saying they were sorry about it. Nothing.
Well, let's face it.
I said, even though I had sent you and you knew all about it.
Right.
Nobody even said.
Well, let's face it. People like that are running, they don't really even see their page. They have somebody running their page for them. That's what they're doing, Irvin. They're having someone run their page for them.
Well,
unlike me, I run my page. Go to it, the Antithesis of Politics, Anthony B. Harris for Mayor on Facebook. Go to my page. I'm the only one that does my page. I write everything on there. I post things on there. I'm running my page.
Well, anyway,
Sam Hart and all them are not running their page. Ricker's got some schmuck running his page for him.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Maybe
right.
he's
Sam
got
Hart's got some schmuck running his page.
Something's got to do something.
Ellis has got a schmuck running his page. That's all.
Well, all I have to say is,
well, see,
they're all running their campaigns, and I would say that they're not saying much, but obviously everywhere you go, you see a sign.
I know. And it's an uphill battle because they're already going to have the friends behind them and the money behind them. But that's why I'm just going to get the message out loud and clear. I'm not going to hold back. I might say some stuff you don't appreciate. I might say some stuff you guys don't agree with, but at least you know I'm honest and I'm coming out with it.
Well,
you know, I'm not going to hold back. If you don't like my idea about a Riverwalk flea market, that's good. But you know what? We're going to try it if I win.
Well,
So-
by the way, Stephen and Popeye are here. And Stephen, it's good. It's all right that you're late. It's always better late than never. It's all.
Yes.
I'd like
Great
a
acting.
hamburger,
Yeah.
and I'll gladly pay you Tuesday.
That's whippy.
For a hamburger today.
I'm going to go in there. Tuesday.
Actually, you do a better job. You kind of look like Wimpy. Go ahead.
I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
No, you got to be Popeye.
You're broke skull of time.
Yes, hey, do the Popeye laugh.
Oh, well, gonna come take you.
Yeah, that's Aunt Stephen. He's back.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
I'm back for the day.
Yeah, I love Popeye. By the way, I grew up like thinking
It's a
that I
no
would like
comeback.
spinach,
Did you ask-
and then I tasted it. It tastes like shit.
What did? Spinach?
Spinach.
I love spinach.
Oh, it's awful.
That's a case where, you remember how they say
It's
art?
worse than okra.
Remember how they say art? A lot of people argue art doesn't influence people. Well, with Popeye, it does. Oh, I love it, Irvin. I mean, Ed. Look at Ed.
Yeah,
Good
look at
God.
that.
That's how I look when I was arrested.
That's what you look
Like
like
a-
when you eat spinach.
Like a donkey.
That's what I
But
feel
anyway,
like.
I'm not a Democrat. But anyway, that looks like one of the damn aliens on a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, what, they whack you across the head?
Fuck.
Anyway,
Oh,
that's
serious
Popeye
boy.
with Bluto whacking him across the head.
That's with a little bit of Mikhail Gorbachev mixed in with that damn birthmark on my head.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what we were saying. So Joe Allen just really didn't stick up for himself. He just sat
No.
there.
I don't think he should have. I don't think it was the
Bull
proper.
crap.
He needed just to do exactly what he did.
No, if he-
listen to somebody talking to the commission.
Right, but
Keep
if he
your mouth
believed,
shut.
but if he believed in what he was doing was right and it was his fight, when Lonzie Edwards started railing on him, I would have given Lonzie Edwards a mouthful.
Wow.
I wouldn't have sat there. and
Let's
took it.
see what
Mhm.
happens. It's a long campaign, and I'm gonna talk to him about the allegations, of course, and that he knew
Right.
about it. And I'm gonna confront him on that. You know, that he knew about the Denard fiasco. He knew about that. Why
Get him,
aren't you
Irvin.
bringing that up? Because I have. And so, and I didn't put his name out of respect for him.
Right.
But on the next round, I will. You know?
Let me finish my thought that just got off track for a minute. What I was getting at was Popeye is a case of art and a comic influencing me as a kid. Because one of the reasons I started eating spinach and loved it as a kid was because of Popeye. No lie.
Yeah,
And
they
now I love
don't
spinach.
have much vegetable eating
I love spinach.
cartoon characters anymore.
Well, I mean, Popeye's responsible for making me eat spinach.
Well, helping people eat
Comic
spinach.
books responsible for me wanting to work out at an early age. Because I love superheroes
Yeah.
and the Hulk and all that.
But don't you think that Popeye has some danger spot to it, like constantly beating up, right?
Well,
And
if-
another
well-
one is opening that can of spinach. You know, kids could. No,
Well-
not only that, but if it's an open
Well-
can, they can cut
Well,
themselves.
not only that, I've read a book on the history of Popeye years ago. And the early Popeye, with anything of that time period, it was very risque and it made fun of blacks and all other races.
And actually,
just like
Betty
the
Boop
Bugs Bunny
shows up as a
did.
black woman.
What's that?
Popeye, original Popeye,
Uh-huh.
Betty Boop shows up as a
yeah.
black woman.
Well, there was also old Popeye cartoons and strips where, you know, it'd have like your stereotypical black guy, and he'd be drawn, of course, like the way they used to draw him, you know, really dark with the big lips.
Big lips
Yeah.
and
You know,
bug
he would be
eyes.
like some character that Popeye runs into on the dock or some shit
Yeah.
where his boat
Yeah.
is. They used to have that in all the old ones, which, of course, I always thought it was kind of too much ado about nothing when they kept bringing up that was racism. Because I didn't see it as racism. I just thought that it reflected, you know, the times. If those were the types that were around there, that was the type that was around there.
There was a black Yosemite Sam too, really?
Yeah, well,
But-
Well,
no,
but
I think it
Popeye's
was a
great.
black
Yeah.
Elmer
I mean,
Fudd.
Popeye
But-
comics are great because they do influence our
I
kids.
did
to be
remember
good
there
people.
was I think I don't know if it was either Warner Brothers or MGM Irving Martinez, the child-friendly candidate.
See, Irvin needs to run. I want Irvin to run.
Well, there was a
I kind of want to run, but I ain't got the dough.
there was a
You
cartoon. I remember
Do
those were cartoon. I guess they only played it one time when I saw. I was like 9 or 10 years old. There was a spoof on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was called Coal Black and the Seven Dwarfs.
You brought that up before.
Yeah. It was like it wasn't seven S-E-V. It was Seven S-E-B-B-E-N. Seven Dwarfs.
Have you ever seen This Ain't Gilligan's Island?
I haven't seen that.
By the way,
but
there
you
was
know
another
what
vegetable-eating character quickly.
What's that?
Popeye with spinach and Bugs Bunny with carrots.
That's right.
Okay,
But-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but seven, if you think about it, I know what you're getting at. They're making fun of the way a black man would pronounce the word seven. They couldn't say seven.
Like
but
50 Cent.
But seven is
Yeah.
closer. Seven is closer to how the Germans say seven, because seven in German is sieben.
Sieben.
S-E-I-B-E-N.
I thought you said semen.
No, it's
The English
sieben.
language is just a mutt of everything.
That's
else.
right. So really, you could say that a black saying seven is really more so them saying it the Germanic way, right, than saying it an incompetent way.
Wow,
So-
Popeye's feeling famous.
So it's German chocolate, huh?
Yeah, shit. I heard white women like German chocolate. Look at Heidi Klum.
I think Popeye
White
likes
German
that we're
women,
talking
boy,
about
they
him,
like
yeah.
chocolate.
Well, I need to go to Berlin.
Boy, Heidi Klum only seems to date and marry black guys, and she's a German woman. She want her some seal.
Well, God, I miss that. Oh, by the way,
yeah, baby.
Popeye feels honored.
What else are we doing?
But
so Derek, what are your
let's talk
concerns?
about something segue to Popeye.
Okay.
What are
So
y'all's
you're gonna beat
concerns?
the shit out of the other candidates.
Well, my
right?
concern.
So that's the only concerns you guys got. I know Derek wants the movie studio here, and he wants
Yes.
to work it. That's fine.
Yes.
I'll see what I
Wants
can
to
do if
stay
I
in
win.
his house. He
Okay,
doesn't
great.
want to have to go to Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, I'll
Yeah,
see.
I
If
mean,
I get mayor, I'll see what I can
You
do.
got to
for
get
him.
Michelangelo. By the way, we had that director, Michelangelo,
Yeah, we had
and
a
on
phone.
the phone.
I missed
So
it.
we're gonna go.
Is that show online? Can I go back and watch that show?
Yeah.
I never watched the one where.
Well, I mean, it's great. And by the way, we.
I heard you asked him about the banging scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah, but
Wonder
I
Woman.
didn't ask him on air.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you said on the air. So
Did
were
I?
you really
No.
banging that chick?
No,
Let's get the real questions, Ryan Seacrest, here on Entertainment Tonight.
no, really.
Yes, he's
Mario
supposed to.
Lopez.
I still think he
Yes,
made a
supposed
point
to,
of
he's supposed to
flicking
have
that way.
he's having a red carpet premiere of his brand new movie, Imprisoned by Love, in Atlanta. I think near the Fox Theater.
Why does he write everything about love? Does that reflect that he doesn't have really love in his life?
The dude, he was
Almost-
loving that shit when he was banging that
Well,
girl.
I know, but was it
But he's-
love or just like a quick sexual
I don't
urge
know.
being
He was
satisfied?
all over her.
Talking about in Wonder Woman, or you
I'm
talking
just
about
saying in
the
general,
movie?
this guy's movies all have to do with love, don't they?
Well, not
Well,
all of them.
Prison by love.
The next one is he's gonna beat the hell out of her.
Single,
It's
he
like
had-
all of us got love and kissing.
Well,
he
the
just
movie,
wants to
well,
find a reason
Wonder
to make
Woman.
out
Well,
with women.
actually, Wonder Woman was he didn't act. Yeah, that was a voodoo lady, but that was.
but there was love in there.
Yeah,
Right.
more lust than
The
love.
next one is
but
the next one he went to the
Michael
other
Harris
extreme.
directed that one. He just acted in it.
This new one is more on the other end of the spectrum, the extreme.
Yeah.
Now it's about spousal
anal
abuse.
love.
No,
Spousal
spousal
abuse.
abuse.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And making up, trying to.
When's he gonna do like a superhero movie? I'll go out for it. If he pays.
Well, he did it with Jawanda Woman.
No, I want a
let me tell you
superhero
that.
movie.
Well,
He did a
Superman.
crime movie. He keeps
Well,
doing
He
these.
has done a crime movie. He has one called Missing, where this woman who's
I haven't
a
seen it. It's been missing, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, I guess.
I haven't seen it. It's been missing.
It hasn't
That's
been
a horrible ground.
It hasn't been, I guess, hasn't been distributed yet. I guess because of like
got here,
producer, some type of producer
Got his
conflict
hunch
or
over.
something. And I hope it comes out. I hope it be able to
I
come
hope so,
out
too.
because I'm in the movie. I play a shrink there, and
Of course, yeah.
Ain't nothing about Derek shrinking.
Yeah.
well, a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a psych, I
You see
play
him with those
psychiatrist.
3 women in Chick
Actually,
Factor?
he is
wasn't
kind of a
shrinking.
shrink on
He
the
wasn't
show.
shrinking on that Chick
No,
Factor.
he actually is a kind of a shrink.
Did you
on
see
the
what I
show.
wrote on
He
the
keeps it
board?
level.
I wrote on the board when y'all were talking about Chip Factor earlier.
Uh-huh.
Y'all passed my comment.
What did
I
you
said y'all should have called that movie The Chocolate Chip Factor. Because I said the black cast was so big in that movie, they should have called it The Chocolate Chip, and you guys didn't even say it.
Wow,
on that.
dang! It's,
Oh, look at this. We got all of the horny people, all the sexes here. I just want to
Beers
point them
Bush?
out.
Yeah.
We got How Your Dick Hanging.
How you think it,
I'm so horny.
We got Tubby Dude. Because
And we
women
got
like, 'cause women like
Horny
fat guys.
Monkey. I'm loving this.
I like Kettle Corn. That's got a lot of sexual innuendo in that
Horny
name.
Monkey.
Kettle Corn.
Yeah.
Horny.
course, I guess the high dick hang.
How your dick hanging?
No, you're right.
How your dick hanging?
No, you're right.
How your
Oh, that's
dick
the old,
hanging?
that's the old lady.
Yeah, the one,
She is funny. So you get, look, the Breakfast Club is on our tail.
Uh-oh, they're gaining on us, man.
And look, that means you guys have gone over the hour and you're still beating them.
Yes.
So they only get up there when you guys leave the air. 'Cause look, you guys are like into a
Possibly.
third hour, fourth hour.
Oh, we just dropped. No?
No, you're
I just
still
looked
up.
at all. So we
Now you drop the
we
paper.
guess
But we're
we
still ahead.
Yeah, we're still ahead.
All right.
But
well,
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'll be back before the election. But yeah, just if you want me to be your mayor, write me in.
Nay, Boston
Write me
Chicky,
in.
welcome.
You're
Welcome,
local.
Boston Chicky. We're
Right.
still getting them in.
Write in my real name, Anthony B. Harris, or write in Ant. Ant will be accepted when they do the count.
Yeah. Mr. 9909, welcome.
You know, it'd be really funny and ironic
What?
if the amount of votes I get is 666. What if that happened? What if like the vote count came in and I got
Yeah.
666? I'd be like, hey, he's the devil. He's the
They'll
devil.
think of you more of a devil than Ronald Reagan.
That's
Remember
true.
Ronald
Oh,
Reagan?
yes.
Well, you know,
Ronald,
if it-
R-O-N-A-L-D, Wilson,
Wilson,
W-I-L-S-O-N, Reagan,
Added six to it,
R-E-A-G-A-N, 666.
Yeah, 3 letters.
I used to
with
preach
6
that shit when I was working in Michigan.
Well, you remember, like, you heard of F. Ed Bob, right? You heard the guy F. Ed Bob?
What?
His initials are 1, 2, 3. F. Ed Bob.
Wow. F. Ed Bob.
That was
All right.
bad.
Well-
F. Ed Bob. 1, 2, 3.
Boston Chicky, chat isn't working for you, but you're still
How
typing.
your dick hanging?
So
What?
what are you saying?
But anyway, chatters, anybody got any more questions for me?
Yeah.
If you're local. I mean, if you're not local, I can't help you. I can't help you verbal bite if you're in
How
Nevada.
your dick hanging?
But I would like to bring casinos to Macon. But that's beyond city. That's
What
a
would it
state
be?
thing.
Would it be at the old
Bank of America building? I'd turn that Bank of America building downtown into a casino if that was empty.
Okay.
I think a casino would
That
be perfect.
looks like a casino from the outside,
Yeah.
like a European casino.
It's
from
big
the
enough,
outside.
roomy enough.
But
Yes.
how would you?
Not too
What
many
about the
pillars.
buildings outside of downtown, like the empty buildings at Westgate, the PetSmart, the Westgate
stuff
6
in there.
Yeah.
I want
Old
to bring.
Walmart
I want to
building.
bring things in all those.
What about
empty
studios?
structures.
Yes.
Studios.
Studios
Well, we
for
already kind of
movies
hit
and
the
shows.
movie thing. The movie
Yes.
thing is something I want to do anyway. I already said that.
Yes. Matter
Right.
of fact, I went to North Carolina last week. There were like there was some places in there like an old strip mall. There were at least 5 or 6.
Okay, they had to beam me up.
Yeah.
Somebody's
We're
farting.
beamed
No,
up.
we're being beamed up. Am I the red shirt? No. Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Okay, go
on.
go, Derek.
I'm not the red shirt.
Well, you know what I want to do too, guys, with the movie thing? And we already have a friend, Terry Wilson, from
Yes.
Middle Georgia Talent, that she's also in Warner Robin. She's not
Yeah.
making. She came up with a guide, a movie guide, a guide for local people to
Right.
try to get business through their different fields of expertise in the movie business, whether it's acting or props
Yeah.
or sets or whatever, directing. But I want to do that even further. I want to set up a guide for Macon, which does that, which is a directory for local actors and set builders, carpenters, prop people, costumers,
Directors, yes.
anything, editors. But I want to call the guide, and here's the names I came up with, and I already gave them a copyright. I want to make a guide called Macon's Official Video, Imaging, and Entertainment Source, which will spell movies. M-O-V-I-E-S. That's Macon's Official Video, Imaging, and Entertainment Source. Or we can call it Mid-State's Official Video, Imaging, and Entertainment Source. Both of them would spell movies, M-O-V-I-E-S.
Okay.
So that's another thing I want to do. I want to have a nice book that's given out at the local Chamber of Commerce, Convention Visitors Bureau, where people then can come to town and they film movies here, and they can get this book, and they can maybe think about hiring people local. So that's another thing with that. And you're right, guys. There's a lot of empty buildings we can do so much with.
We're going to go to our daily bread, and it sort of fits in with some of what we're talking about.
Can I say one more thing to all of you? Because
Yeah.
rumor on the movie front and TV front is this, and all of us fit, because I think all of us could be extras in it under one type of character. But I'm hearing that The Walking Dead will soon be filming in Macon.
That's great. Yeah, and I think we have some Walking Dead fans.
Yeah. But really, if you look at all of us, if you look at all of us, Irvin could
You
easily
see it every day.
Irvin could easily be a zombie. You could
Yeah.
easily be a zombie. I'm serious.
I could be chewing
Now,
on
the two of
somebody's
us might not be
kneecaps.
zombie material, but they could put us into something else. They could put
I
me
could
in as a
chew on
military
thighs.
guy. You know, they always got the Army in there and the National Guard.
Well,
But no, Walking Dead's supposed to be filming and making within the next few months.
and speaking of Walking Dead,
Daily
this is
Bread.
from Walking Alive, like your tongue moving.
This is the Daily Dead.
Talking. And the title of today, which is interesting because it kind of fits in with what we're talking about.
Got it.
And the title is What We're Talking About. There you
What,
go.
Black pornos?
Morning Bread. For July 17, 2013.
Words of Anthony.
What we talk about. And perhaps you're familiar with the saying, Anthony. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people.
Yeah, baby.
Admittedly, there are ways to speak of people that can honor them. But this saying highlights our darker experiences. In a world of ever-present media, social and professional, we are continually confronted with people's lives at a level of intimacy that could be inappropriate. Worse, this tidal wave of personal information about others could become grist for our conversational mills to the point that gossip becomes the norm. And not just about rich and famous. People in our workplaces, churches, neighborhoods, and families can also be targets of sharp tongues and feel the pain of discussion that never should have happened, like right here on Vaughn Live. How can we escape our inclination to use words to hurt others? By recognizing the ultimate hero of our words, God, who longs for us to be better than that. With the psalmist we can pray, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord. Psalm 19, verse 14. When we seek to please God with our conversations about others, we honor Him. With His help, we can glorify Him through what we talk about. Forgive me, Father, for the times my speech crosses the line of that which is appropriate. Help me understand the power of words and give me the wisdom to use them well. It is better to bite your tongue than to make a biting remark. Psalm 19, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord. That's Psalm 19, 14. There you have it.
19 factor.
Yeah, the 19 factor. There you go, brother. And that, oh, by the way, those that don't know what the 19 factor is, it's a spiritual concept that we came up with where everything aligns and makes sense. It kind of hits you like that.
That's what's going to have to make it if we don't do something about it. We need a new mayor. We need someone to stop this Godzilla from destroying the city.
Yeah, Pastafarian.
Ed, who did you believe? Someone else is going on here. What's Ed been doing? Ed, what do you want me to do if I'm mayor? Besides leave town.
I don't think I can say that.
He'll tell you privately on that.
Ed, can I set up a Jewish coalition? I'll set up a Jewish coalition with the mayor office.
Why the hell not?
Why not?
You have Rabbi Sussinger and Ed lead.
I'll have Ed. I would try to give all you jobs. I really would try to give y'all jobs.
I
know darn well that Ed's good with computers. And if I could find a job for Ed in a computer, some kind of city computer program,
maybe in the schools. You know, I think it's great with kids, and put them in the school to help run their tech department.
See, I do know a lot of people that have a lot of talent in fields, and they should be working in those fields, and they're not. And then you got these slack asses getting these jobs, and they're only getting the jobs because of who they know, or because they have to underneath some law that says you got to give them a job. It's just bullshit, and that's why you have so many people in this town running it shoddily.
Right.
It's all run shoddily because you don't have people doing the job that they're paid to do.
You know,
get rid of those suckers. I don't have a problem with getting rid of any of them.
Banana
they would think I was an asshole once I got in office because I'd be just saying, "You're out of here. Sorry, we gotta let you go."
You're like the banana peel. You make people slip.
They would have.
By the way,
but then some would love it.
The banana bunch. Stephen calls them.
Yes.
That's better than the
That's
banana.
That's a good time to show him in the banana hammock. Once you said banana bunch, you should have put Irvin in.
Yeah, I blush.
But Ed, thank you for going an extra hour. Guys, thank you for going for extra. You guys didn't do wordsmith. Let's do wordsmith.
Oh.
You didn't do who said it first.
And who said it first?
And who smelt it first.
Okay, we got that.
Who smelt it first?
Who smelled it first?
That's a good question. Ed, you like these jokes. Who smelled the first fart in history?
Well,
that's interesting. Who smelled the first fart?
Whoever farted first.
Who was it?
Was it Adam or Eve? Or God?
Well,
probably
whoever smelt it dealt it.
Or was it the satanic snake?
Or maybe it was Cain.
It was
or
the
Abel.
snake. Blame everything on the devil. Blame everything on the devil.
Why not?
That would be kind of weird if I got 666.
The devil made them do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, we got the word origins. Our word for today is artesian. In the 18th century, drillings made in Artois, a former northern French province,
Menage a trois.
roughly corresponding to the modern Pas de Calais, produced springs of water which rose spontaneously onto the surface, without having to be pumped. The name of the province, in its erstwhile form Artias, it was bestowed on the phenomenon which and has been so used ever since. Artesian.
See the 19th
So the word is artisan, right?
Artesian.
Artesian.
Yeah.
But it comes from artisan. Yes. Artisan.
Yes.
You see the 19th factor? We were talking about Michelangelo banging a woman, and then the word has pumped without having to be pumped.
Springs of water.
The 19th factor.
My brain has just been pumped.
Everything connects. Being pumped.
With spiritual pornography.
Black pornography.
What else? Egg in
Have
your
you had
face.
a gonorrhea test there?
Yeah.
Like that one porn star.
You're right. This one's making me excited. Go ahead.
Speaking of excited.
No, you're right.
Who said it first?
I need Vincent Price to read
Who
this.
said that first? Egg on your face.
Excellent.
You got egg on your face, stupid ass. Kind of like what Rickett had when we ambushed him.
Yes. The origin of expression has never been satisfactorily pinned down. It could be a simple description of remnants of yolk left around the mouth after eating a soft-boiled egg, or possibly the result of a real protest aimed at old-time actors or politicians in the form of a thrown egg.
Actors and politicians? Wow. Covering both of those eggs on
That's
the
because
face.
they talk a lot, and then that white shit starts to form, and it starts to leave like these long strings.
All right, I'm not a politician. Screw that.
Okay.
I'm a
Listen, Tom, and you got to tell him, would you do this for God's sake? I'm staring at your mouth.
Rural America believes the blame lies with farm dogs, which, after a tasty snack in the hen house, carried evidence plain to see around a furry snout.
I like it.
Whichever of those versions is true, the meaning is always clear. You've done something foolish, maybe said something you regret, and the consequences of your actions have rebounded on you in an unwelcome form. While not unfamiliar with America, where it was heard on a 1950s television serial, soap opera Front Page Detective, the term came to prominence in Britain in 1972 when former Labour Minister Lord Chalfont wrote somewhat scathingly in the Times, "There was something reassuredly changeless about the capacity of the highest military authorities for getting egg on their face."
Yeah. So let me guess. Paula Dean cooked with a lot of eggs, right?
Yeah, well, she did. But by the way, this reminds me so much of the furry snout like they have in the shit. Yeah. I see these guys having snouts like pigs.
Eggs on your face.
And an egg on it as evidence of the bullshit that they put and they try to sweep under the rug.
We're going to have fun at the meeting
right
tomorrow.
in front of our noses.
You going to the meeting tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm going for an hour.
If we have
enough, I'm gonna pick Irvin up, but you got to take him home.
Yes, I mean, I may be able to go if I can't get.
You can get out. You got nothing else to do, man.
Please.
What about the
watching
premiere?
the Gilmore Girls can wait?
We got the premiere. Oh, we have to. Well, let's go there for a half an hour and get the hell out of there.
When's the premiere?
The premiere is at 9 o'clock. No?
Let's 12:04. So let's get out of here.
It's the premiere for Michelangelo's movie.
That's right.
When's the premiere? Where's the 42? 42 supposed to be playing at Luther Williams Field for free soon.
Yeah,
it should be.
That's
actually, yes.
That's the one on the beach.
Maybe during the weekend because yesterday we had the All-Star game that was on Fox, and Mariano Rivera, the relief pitcher for the Yankees, he had his last All-Star game. He's the relief pitcher. He's the last one in Major League Baseball to actually wear number 42.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is now on DVD and Blu-ray.
Okay.
Have you watched it?
Yes,
yet?
please.
Because when I get my check, I'm buying it solely because Elizabeth got a good shot in there.
What
and
the
also,
hell?
I want to see the extra deleted scenes because I want to see if they use that second scene.
Yes,
crap.
yes. Okay, right.
So now that we're on a tangent and Ed wants to get the hell out of here.
Okay. Wait.
What the hell does that have to do with y'all going to
I want to
Michelangelo
know.
from here?
I want to know now. Anthony's only going to go for an hour. Maybe we can go for an hour and get the hell out of there
That's right.
altogether. How's
That's
that?
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
6 to
we'll
7.
just bum rush.
We'll sign up to speak.
Because we got VIP. I want to,
Okay.
eat food.
We do have VIP?
No, we do.
For the
awesome.
premiere.
Is it in Atlanta?
Yes,
Yeah.
in Atlanta.
So what time does it start?
I think around what 8 or
Well,
8 or 9.
If it starts at 8, you got to leave. You can't go to the thing. It's
Well,
an
it
hour and a half
starts at 6.
ride. Yeah, but you can't. If it starts at 8, you can't leave out of Macon at 7 and make
Yeah,
the
but
premiere.
do we really want to be like the first ones there?
You got to leave
We're
out
not
of
gonna be.
Macon
We're
at
not gonna be the first
6:15.
one. I mean,
You're gonna miss the other thing.
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
If it starts at 8. Now, if it starts at 9, you can leave out at
Yeah,
7.
if it starts at 9, I'll have to check the
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah, if it starts at 9, we can do
starts at 8, you're not gonna make
even
the
a half an
24.
hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just want to show up. I already said I was
You
going to
got
go.
to if you said you're going to.
Yes.
It's like me. But I'm
Well,
going.
anyway, we want to thank
Thanks,
Anthony
everybody.
for coming
Thank
in
you.
for his campaign for mayor of Macon.
I'll be back.
Also thank our guests, our mods and chatters who were on here today. DS Photo Guy, Rosalind Nicole, Plastic
they
Canvas,
slipped, the-
Ball DJ, Beer, Sports Cars, I'm So Horny, Popeye, Steven, Monroe's Tubby Dude, Vlogger Hog, Vorpal by 2, Zapper 1, and Kettle Corn, and also what other person that was here earlier?
Yeah, you had a lot of people. You had Manny.
Goat King.
You had
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, Steven,
Ball
Goat King.
DJ.
You had a guy named Manny.
Yeah, the guy's from Queens.
You had
I'm the one
Seafluke?
from Queens. Actually, Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, Sea Fluke
You
was
had
here
Manny.
earlier.
You had some good ones.
Oh yeah, Hydroponic who was here earlier
You had
today.
that sex fiend Michelle Stacy.
Yes. Lumpy Cheeseburger was also here. Fat Vinny the Bully who was also here. Had a lot of folks. Want to thank you for keep making us in, at least in the top 2, top 3, wherever, and also helping us for reaching over 20,000 views. We'll see you tomorrow for Thursday.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow next time from 8 to 11. And remember, can you smell what the roast is brewing? We'll
Thanks,
see you later.
Anthony.
Thank you.
You got
Right and in. September 17th.
There's supposed to be a kaboom.
You're not kind.
That's all.